For joining us is the Master Plan Steering Committee, meeting at the lower level of the Ritter Building. It is July 9th at 6 p.m. In accordance with open meeting law, this meeting is being recorded, will be uploaded to the Lunenburg Access YouTube channel after the meeting, and we also have a Zoom call if anyone needs to join via Zoom, and we are also in person. So it's 6:03. We'll begin with our agenda. So if we have any public comment today? No. Do we have any committee comment? Tony?
I don't know this gentleman.
Yes, I was just about to, after it, I was just about to go, if we could go around the room, because there's always new faces in and out, new people have joined, so thanks for the reminder. So my name's Kim Duffy, I'm the chair, new chair of this committee, and we'll keep going around the room this way.
I'm Emily Young.
Tim Wilsmer, I'm the planning board representative.
Jerry Reed, clerk.
Debbie Lincoln, Council on Aging.
Mike Rupp, Finance Committee.
And I'm Tony Skelman-Brady. And Sandra Hart has joined us. Sandra, are you on mute?
Hi, hello, sorry I couldn't be there in person.
No problem, thanks for joining. And Glenn's just here for fun. Okay. Perfect. All right, so what I wanted to go over, as if you're on the agenda, was going to go over the tasks from the last meeting just to get all the administrative stuff covered. Briefly cover, what vacant seats we still have. Go over meeting minutes that were sent out. We had a handful. I'm going to go over the over-under in Lunenburg kind of discussion. They have like every 2 weeks a meeting with Ronnie and Matt Brenner, and then I joined this most recent one. So for full transparency reasons, I just wanted to let you guys know what they talked about. And then the feedback from the recommendation spreadsheet. Thanks to everyone who provided your thoughts so that we could compile it to get a good discussion today. And then just next steps. So that's my plan, and we will start with that. Review of tasks from the meeting. So let me just put my other screen on. I'll stop sharing my screen for just a minute. All right, so I know Amanda's not here. She was going to reach out to the Conservation Committee and the ZBA if we have new representatives. Has anybody heard from her? Tony updated the website with our new membership. Make sure that's up to date, so thanks for doing that. Rami and his team are okay with the second and fourth Wednesdays, which will be our new cadence. This is the second Wednesday of the month, so after trying to find meeting rooms and everything that were open and had the technology that we needed, so we're going to plan to have this meeting here on the second of each month, and then on the 4th probably Zoom only, just because of a lack of meeting rooms. I think Parks is here on the 4th, and some other meeting rooms are all booked up. So is everyone okay with that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Super. Okay. So yeah, I sent out the meeting minutes to everybody for all those old minutes, so we can pull those up if we need to talk through them. If people haven't had a chance to look, just want to get that out of the way and approved. For the meeting minutes going forward, Gerald, you can send the meeting minutes just to the whole committee for review.
Okay.
But no one's going to respond. People can review it and come back with their feedback for the next meeting.
Okay.
I also reached out to, there was a person that used to take the meeting minutes for us and draft them based off of the video recordings. And they're waiting to hear back from somebody else to see if they can do it. But if they can do that, is that something that we're interested in, so that you know, you don't have to focus on taking meeting minutes.
Tim was supposed to enable the AI for Zoom if we have the license for it, and it could do it for us. Did that happen? Do we have the license for Zoom AI?
I think we can activate it per each session or something to that effect. It's either that or it has to be requested at the time that you request the Zoom link. You can get a regular Zoom link or one with the AI assistance enabled.
Jerry, I think that Heidi Spiney, who sets up the meeting, I think she's turned it on for everybody.
Okay,
And I'll confirm that,
okay.
because I have a meeting tomorrow night, and I have already asked her to,
I just requested AI companion, it says the host has to do
Yeah.
it, so maybe that computer lets you.
So we can going forward, then have the AI do it.
yeah. So I'll confirm with her tomorrow night when I log on
Okay.
for my meeting, that all of these meetings have the transcript, the
Okay.
AI transcript coming with them. But I think that they did that.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I was just looking for other ways that we could, you know,
Even supplement manual minutes.
yeah.
Yeah, see it, this screen says,
It has an AI companion, but normally with Google Meet, it sends you an email saying, here's what was said.
I'll check with her tomorrow.
Okay.
Thanks. I added Emily and Sandra to be Facebook admins, so hopefully you received that notification. I think I saw some posts made, so thanks guys. And for the channel 8922, Deb, did you reach out to, I think I saw an email asking
Yes.
for that, awesome. I wasn't able to confirm, I don't know how to use channel cable TV. So, I don't know, I just go to
A
Netflix.
Streamer only?
So, hopefully that was on there. Did-
I
does anyone-
haven't seen it, but
Okay.
I did copy you on my email to her.
Yeah, okay, great. Maybe I'll try to figure that out so I can see it and be like, oh, this is what it looks like. Okay. So that's all the tasks from last meeting. Vacant seats, so I guess just for awareness for everybody here and listening, we do have open seats on this committee for Conservation Commission representation, the ZBA, and one member at large position. So we'll work on the conservation and ZBA, but if anyone knows anyone who's interested in joining as a member at large, or if you're listening, please reach out, come attend one of our meetings, see if you would like to stay with us more than once. All right, meeting minutes, discussion and approvals. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the last one was the last meeting, so we'll send that out to everybody to review. Did anyone have a chance to look at those meeting minutes?
I looked at the previous meeting minutes since Deb and Evelyn was there. I vote for a bulk approval of unofficial because I don't remember what I had for lunch 2 weeks ago. God knows what we did in September of 23.
I agree.
To be honest.
Yeah,
agree.
I agree. I think that if we just
Just
take
do
a bulk approval with
unofficial.
stating that they're
Yeah.
there.
Unofficially approved.
Unofficially approved, and then we can go forward going from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, we can officially approve them with the caveat of like, not all of us were there, and this is just the content that has
Right.
been provided to us from previous chair. Okay, so I will, is there a motion to approve all of them?
I'll
from-
make a motion to approve all previous meeting minutes except for last week's, which we can go over.
Second.
All right, so since Sandra is on the
I'm here.
line, we have to do a roll call vote. So Tony,
Aye.
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 Sandra?
Aye.
All right, I for myself, so perfect. So those are all approved, and we can send those.
Is there a mailing list created in Outlook for us yet?
Yeah, so
There-
there is a group.
Do we know the name offhand?
It's Master Plan Steering Committee, but I don't know when it was updated. It might have out of date
Oh, it's
membership.
Oh,
It looks
no, I
okay.
updated it.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Yeah,
did?
so
Okay.
it's up to date. Yeah, so it's the Master Plan Steering Committee group. I've emailed it probably
Richard
two
Birch.
more than I wanted
Richard's
to in the
not
last
in
few
it
weeks.
anymore,
But,
But everybody else is
I
still.
think everybody else is.
So is Richard Birch is
Richard
still on
Birch.
here, but he can get the meetings, he can ignore it.
yeah, until we get like someone to replace, and we haven't like received any formal, like, he's
Okay.
on
That seems
it.
good.
He's still on his committee,
Oh, okay.
I think.
I will send everybody last week's meetings now.
Thank you. All right, and then so we'll, we can.
They're in
discuss those
PDF
minutes.
format, but I can send them in real format if y'all want. But you can look at them, we can make changes as needed.
I'm fine with whatever. Okay, over under discussion summary. So on July 1st, Matt Brunner and I met with Rami and his team from Over Under and the other like consultants that are working with him. So obviously they're not here tonight. They weren't available for tonight's meeting, which is fine because we have a lot to talk about separately. But they will meet on the first and third Tuesday of each month. Tony and or I will be attending that to kind of keep updated on, you know, the strategy and how they're working with the planning board. I told him my plan for like the rest of the year, and they're okay with that, which is, you know, get the feedback, send it out to the rest of the other committees based off of our nice to haves and want to haves to kind of get some more focused feedback from them, because the other committees are really going to be the ones that are executing the work. And then we'll have a draft executable plan that we can present at the next public meeting for September. So that's our optimistic goal. And it'll be like in an info session format. So sometime in September, Rami has to send me some dates that work for him because he'll be in attendance for that. So that's pretty much that. All right, to the big, yes.
Before you go to the strategy section, did you hear from the town manager as to whether the contract's been extended?
I did not. I did send Jen and Matt Renner an email asking about the contract.
Okay, so one of the things that I think that we need to do, if it hasn't been done, is that we need to establish a new contract completion date. This contract had a formal contract completion date of 1 January 2025. We're well past 1 January 2025. And so I sent a note to Jen, and now Kim has as well. And I don't know if there's been a formal extension. And one of the things that I think that we should do, I think we absolutely positively should have a revised contract completion date. But I think we ought to build that with a couple of things in mind. One is, I think that we need to have a conversation with Rami to say, when do you think you can get this finished? And what do we need to do as a committee for you to meet that new revised completion date? Now, the contract that was written by the town allows the town to set a new contract completion date. And but I'm against us doing that unilaterally. I think we ought to do that with input from Rami. The other aspect of the contract completion date is looking ahead at approvals. And we had a discussion about this at our meeting, our last meeting, where we said the planning board has to approve the plan. And I agree with that. I mean, based on the way the contract was written and the way the planning board has been proceeding, formal approval comes from the planning board. But then we had discussion about whether we should bring this forward at town meeting for, you know, buy-in. I don't necessarily want to say approval at a town meeting, but I certainly think that it should be briefed at a town meeting, whether it be the special town meeting in November or whether it be the town meeting in May of 2026. So, I quite honestly, I think that an approval at special town meeting by the planning board, by the special town meeting in November might actually be a push. I mean, I think that, because we really don't know where we are in terms of how much work has been done by Over and Under and what do they think is a comfortable completion date for them. And if they think that they could meet a completion date that would support planning board approving it prior to special town meeting and then a presentation, a special town meeting in November, then so be it. I mean, I think that's what we ought to shoot for. And then that would guide us, I think, in terms of establishing what's a new formal completion date for this contract. If we're saying that the last piece of work that would be done by over under would be a presentation at a special town meeting in November, then probably a 1 December 2025 contract completion date would work. But if we can't get everybody on the same page, and we've talked about having input from other committees, we're kind of, reestablishing this committee so that other committees can provide input. There's a lot of things that might have to happen, and we might not be able to meet a special town meeting presentation by over and under. And then that would mean a contract completion date maybe in May of 2026.
Yeah, I think that one's more realistic.
I do too.
Do we have to go to the town? At the special town meetings, we have maybe 150 people out of 11,000.
I think
We
it's,
don't, Jerry.
you know,
We
it's
don't.
the
Yeah.
planning
We
board
don't.
determines
We don't
if we
have
accept it or
to,
not.
we
I think
decided
that's
that
nice
we
too.
should do
Yeah.
that.
They have plenty of opportunities with the survey though. They have plenty of opportunities to come to these meetings. They have plenty of opportunities to do this stuff. We
Yeah.
can't beg them.
Yeah, I think it's hard because a lot of people still somehow, like, they're not aware, like, for one thing you're not aware of, like, as, everyone's like, oh, the pesticides, they're spraying it on Mass Ave, like, Thursday night or whatever it was, and I contacted the Department of Agriculture, because that's who I am, and they're like, oh, Central Mass is one of the best notification systems for this, and I was like, then how does no one know still? Like, it's just, people, it goes up, like, off people's radars, people aren't aware, and I think if, like, we just, I know, for me, I feel more comfortable, like, giving it one last, like, at the meeting that everybody goes to, that they might not even know this exists still, and I know it's kind of silly.
And it's only a presentation, it's not asking for feedback.
Yeah.
We're just talking about presenting our
Yeah.
Right.
Right,
ideas.
but
Yeah.
even at
Not
the
asking
school,
for it.
2.5% last November, I think, when it was, everyone was making a big fuss, but 300 people show up.
Yeah.
And we're not even going for approval, they can read it on the website. I just think I don't wanna, like, you sent the Zoom outs to January, I hope we're done by this January. I really do. I don't, like, contract in May scares me.
Yeah.
We're just gonna keep postponing, kicking the can down the road, in my opinion.
I think if we do a realistic due date of May, we can end early if we need to. I think it just gives us that buffer time, and it's mostly because of having that time that we need to give the other committees feedback, because we want them to be able to meet once, and that's going to take at least a month and a half, because not every committee meets. They usually meet like once a month at like minimum. So let's say we just missed someone's meeting, like tonight AgCom's meeting, they're gonna have to wait another month to discuss it and get back to us. So I think like a month and a half for the committees to get back to us, so that brings us into, what is it, like late August, and then we'll be able to draft something from there. So,
The other thing, Jerry, is that, well, 2 points. One is, a special town meeting in November means you kind of have to have things wrapped up by mid-September because of books and publishing and those types of things. Which isn't that far away, we're sitting here in July, that's not a date. So I think that, we'll really have to scramble to present a document that the planning board could approve, and it'd be something that's just briefed at special town meeting in November. I agree with you, I wish we would have this thing wrapped up by January, but I think there's still a lot of pieces that have to fall.
No, I get that, just like, why brief the people? The same people that show up are the ones that, like, they didn't know about this.
Here's my second point. There's a lot to be gained from saying to people who are skeptics that didn't show up at town meeting, we had this presentation at town meeting. You would have had an opportunity to hear it. And then you kind of diffuse that skepticism by saying, we went the extra mile. The planning board had to get it approved, but we as a committee wanted to make sure that everybody had an opportunity to see what this plan is going to, how it's going to guide the town. And I think that having that last step of presenting it at the, for 150 people, it's not just the 150 people that are at the room, in the room hearing the presentation. It's those people that didn't show up. You could say, you give them an opportunity to complain
Yeah.
by
If we're
not.
taking pictures of our slides,
But they're
we're on
gonna
Facebook,
complain
and say, what are they
regardless.
doing? Yeah.
They're gonna complain regardless. They're gonna say, why did I know about this 6 months ago? It's like,
Yeah.
well, you're never
Well,
gonna
and
be
then
happy.
they can, yeah, they
But
can
then
talk
the
to
people who
us.
don't complain can say, well, see, you shouldn't be complaining because
Yeah.
they were there at town meeting, where were you?
Yeah, and in terms of like, you know, the amount of effort to like put into it, like, I think Tony and I, or whoever else wants to cover it can, like, no one has to participate in that if they don't want to, because it's gonna be, what, maybe 20 minutes max, you know, for everyone probably wish for 5 for attention spans, but, you know, it's just for like an inform for people just to say we did, you know. Yeah.
Also depends on when you go in town meeting, because towards the end of it, people start leaving. I think the last vote was like 40 people.
Yeah, yeah, it is up there. How town meeting structure is definitely
Yeah.
not my favorite, and what we, not something we can necessarily control. So yeah, well, we can try to get in there, get into it early. Yeah, but I think it's a good idea, and it's worth it to do. Not a lot of effort after what, you know, we can, after all the work that we've been doing. But yeah, so to go back to the beginning, yes, we should extend the contract. The actual date obviously needs to be discussed with the planning board, Jen, and over under, but that's our goal, is to get that extended and approved. But we all will need Matt and Jen for that. All right. Let me share. The spreadsheet. So I want to do it. Is there a way to click out of that AI companion so it makes it bigger?
What was that?
Is there a way to click out of that AI companion on that screen so the name is bigger?
Here.
Thank you. All right, so everyone's feedback that I received, I believe I put into here. However, please have your stuff in front of you in case there's something you need to add. And we'll go down along the way. I'm gonna do like quick, like, is like row by row and just say like must have, nice to have, because I wanna make sure everyone that didn't give me the feedback has it.
So is that, if there's an X in a column, it means
Someone,
multiple or,
yeah, my goal was like, I put an X for like if there was a response for
Okay.
it. But I obviously wanted to weight it more towards like, you know, if one person said one thing versus like the entire committee was like, this is a must have.
yeah.
So that's why I kind of wanted to weight it, but I wasn't able to do that because obviously I didn't get like everyone's responses. So we'll just go through quickfire now. Tell me if anybody, I'm gonna go through these, give you people like 3 seconds to be like, this I want you to add. So can everyone see the screen? Or do you want me to say the? Okay. So first one is encourage smaller houses for more options. Must have. Encourage building townhouses. I have these marked as both.
I want to address that.
Sure.
Drive down Mass Ave.
Oh God, those 8 townhomes in
yeah.
that one little complex or whatever. I would hate that, personal opinion.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I don't love those either. But is it the location and?
Just the fact that you're looking in your neighbor's.
I,
Yeah, but you don't have to buy one. No, you don't have to.
we're
That's
talking, I don't know, we're talking about building more townhouses, that's all I'm seeing. I really, I have a big issue with making that a huge priority.
Okay, so if you're comfortable, who marked this as a yes? Okay,
Are we talking about the encourage, for more walkable community?
Nope,
No, building smaller
Building-
houses.
building
Oh, the very
Townhouses.
first one.
building townhouses.
so it's a building, yeah, so it's.
It's all part of one thing.
Yeah, building townhouses to create a more walkable community. So I think there's, yeah, it's like one thing is like, do we want to build townhouses or do we want a more walkable community? I think maybe people are focusing on 2 different parts of this. And obviously we can change this too. Like entirely allowed to modify these.
There is another one that says, like, for walkable community.
Yeah,
Yeah.
walkable communities
We
is
could-
another,
Maybe we could
is
take
another
out the walkable
place.
community part.
but the
If there's-
townhouses,
Yeah,
my opinion is, that's all we're seeing lately.
yeah,
And there's just a lot down on Townsend Harbor Road that was a farming, it was a hayfield,
yeah.
and that's for sale now, and I'm understanding that that's gonna be townhouses.
Is it really?
That's what I've been told.
So
So-
pros of townhouses, we don't have a lot of parcels being like cleared out, it's just like a lot of people in one little spot, but the downsides are, right, we have like these big buildings that are, you know, tall, right on the road, like maybe don't look what we want them to look like. But those townhouses that are like in that mishmash weird plan, like I think that's not how, I don't know how they design those. But I've lived in a townhouse where they're like nice rows and it's like pretty and nice to look at and like a side, you know, not like right in front of you. So I think there's pros and cons to it. But removing the walkable part, do people still want to encourage building townhouses? Like, is that really important for that specific type of house?
I thought it was a nice to have, but
Yeah,
I didn't
like-
put it as a priority.
I see it in comparison to the large plot single families. Like it's
Yeah.
definitely better than having those.
Yeah. So
Oh,
we,
well,
okay.
I was just looking at it as encouraging building townhouses just as a nice alternative. I think somebody else was starting to say that. So that's why I was looking at it as a must-have. Just because, and you know what, and I'm not trying to die on this hill of having a townhouse if there is other ways to create affordable housing.
Yeah.
If it's just aesthetics that people are worried about, I'm not so worried about that. I'm just more worried about people being able to have a pathway to home ownership.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah,
just
so
my 2
that's,
cents.
that's a great point about affordable housing. So townhouses are not affordable housing.
No.
They're
Okay.
very
Not.
expensive.
No.
They're not.
They're just as much as a mortgage, and then you have usually an HOA fee on top
Those
of
ones
it.
on Mass have like 500 something thousand, I
Yeah.
think.
Yes.
That's
and-
not,
And they
No,
have an
that's not
HOA.
affordable at all.
yeah.
So, yeah, so in your mind, you think, oh, townhouses, oh, it's a nice stepping stone, like sometimes, maybe 10 years ago, but now everyone's using like imported granite that's been dipped in gold from, you know, this, from space, like,
But it doesn't have to be.
it doesn't have to.
So, I mean, when you look at your big picture, I mean, I read through these, and it seems like, you know, your overall big picture here, what you wanna do is create a welcoming environment where it's lower cost housing for people to buy homes and whatnot. And one of the biggest costs of your housing is your lot size and your land. So once you start to add in, if you start to take away townhouses now, right? Townhouses are one of the easiest ways to create a high density area, which i.e. makes the cost of your land more affordable. Yeah, there are other costs such as your HOA and such of that nature. And then there's also, when you start to, I'm not gonna get into that. But, so, yes, now you're also talking about you want to have, you know, going down the list, you want to have green communities, right?
Right.
Townhouses are one of the easiest way to have a green community. Why is that? Well, because now you're heating and cooling 2 sides of a house instead of 4, all right? And there's a lot of benefit to a townhouse in that situation. So again, lower utilities, easier to afford. So while I agree, I am not a big townhouse fan to look at them, I don't think it's something that you can just cross off whenever that is going to be one of your best arrows in the quiver to achieve a lot of the things that you're looking at doing. So, just a thought.
Yeah, no, thanks for that. So it kind of sounds like I put in this new option here. Encourage diverse housing options, which include apartments, townhouses, single family, and multifamily, because then that will bring in a variety of people that want any of those options. I don't know how we encourage that, but, you know, is that essentially kind of brings everyone's thoughts together?
I mean, that kind of drives what I was getting at. Like, it just is, I don't care what it looks like as long as we can, you know, offer it, is my takeaway, that in my 2 cents.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to add too much, but we all know, we're on the same page of like, we want people to live in places they want and can afford while maintaining the town as we want it to be. Yeah. So I'm gonna put this as a must-have. And I'm gonna mark this as my fun green color that everybody wants. So back to the smaller houses to provide more affordable options, so we might be able to like lump this in together. So I'm gonna cross this out. With the comment of combining into row 5, okay. That wasn't the one. Alright, so this one we're also crossing out because we've combined it. And with that. Alright, encourage housing development that preserves land for open space.
I feel like it's kind of contradictory to what we just said
Exactly.
in a way.
It's exact opposite.
But I wonder if there's a way we could, I don't know, it seems like it needs a limit of some kind. You know what I'm saying? Like, where we're encouraging building all these affordable options, which is great, but how are we gonna preserve the land and space we have if we continue to do that? So we need to have some sort of criteria.
You tie a land purchase that somebody wants to put townhouses on with also the requirement that you purchase open land along with it. So
Yeah,
now
something.
you're buying land to put into a trust that also is now linked to your high density area. So now you're forcing somebody, if they're buying this lot and they want to put 5 townhouses on it, well, okay, now you have to buy 5 acres over here that goes into a land trust. And while that does not exactly make your land cheap for your housing, it does guarantee that now this land is offset for here, instead of taking all of that land, and then now you're gonna put 4 to 5 houses on it,
Yeah.
and now it's no longer open land.
What if there's not that much land available in that lot that they want to build on?
It doesn't
That
have to
would
be in
be-
that space. You can choose an area of the town or whatever else that you would dictate as available land for purchase into that. I mean, there's a number of lots, if you go in Lunenburg around here, that's like 40, 50 acres.
Yeah.
So it's not an easy thing to do, and I'm not saying I'm a land person to know all of that, but it just seems to be something that, you know, I know other places have done, right? You want to be able to increase your house density on this lot, okay, we need to buy some land somewhere else to offset that. Otherwise, you end up with a very high density, you end up with Wayland Park
Yeah.
all over Lunenburg.
Just building upon building.
But that's gonna add the price of the townhomes. Because they're gonna take those 5 acres, add each one of those acre
But-
prices to the townhouse, and you're back up to
That's
500.
exactly what I'm saying, though, right?
Yeah.
It's like, it doesn't offset your costs
Yeah.
of the benefit of that, but it,
Yeah.
you know, there's no way around it, like, where you have a set amount of land, and if you wanna keep it all open, well, now, land is premium. If you don't want land, now land is cheaper, because everybody can densify it.
So maybe a way to make this a little clearer is we don't want housing to develop in a way that takes away open space, right? So maybe we can encourage housing development practices that preserve land for open space, which includes like creating some sort of, limits, because we do have limits on like how many houses can go on
Yeah.
a certain amount of property. Maybe we increase that, because I know there's different, like regions in Lunenburg for like what your house sizes are, like maybe we could reevaluate, not house sizes, but like the plot sizes, the minimum plot size.
I feel like this would be a good one to
Reevaluate that.
kind of put to the side for those other committees to help us
Yeah,
kind of plan what the best plan for that would be. I mean, it came up for a reason, it's on the list for a
Yeah.
reason, but we might want the experts to kind of share their thoughts and opinions on that specific
Yeah, so that being said, what
item.
committees, sorry, you gonna say something?
Yeah,
Go for it.
we got a lot of stuff to look at, and
Yeah.
in the interest of time, I'm trying to figure out how can we make better sense of this conversation. We have big categories on our charts, okay? Like we have support a range of housing options, we have protect farmland and support farmers, encourage small business, so on and so forth. And what I'm wondering is if we could look at support a range of housing options for all ages and just kind of generally describe, you know, what are we looking for? And then you have input from, maybe not all of us yet, but you have X's and no X's from all of us. And then maybe what we do is that we, can you add up all the X's with the spreadsheet, Ken?
If I had everybody's on their main spreadsheet, yes, I could, so I filter it to which ones have X's,
Yeah.
but like, I would have to, like, make it different, I'd have to format it a little bit differently if I wanted to be like, every
But-
single person did this. But what I did, and it was kind of small, was the responses that I got, I put into AI, and it gave me all the things that everyone agreed on for who gave me responses. But I also don't want to just use this because there's people that, you know, also need to give input. But this is what I came back from the 5 people that gave responses.
Well, what I was gonna suggest is
Those
that
were all agreed upon.
we send this
As
data,
steps.
to, because some of these strategies we've already talked about and we've kind of X'd them out already. So maybe what we could do is we could send over under everybody's spreadsheets and encourage those who haven't to, you know, maybe give them a deadline of by this Friday, otherwise their input won't go. And then we send that to over under, and he takes those X's in conjunction with what we've already talked about as accept or reject strategies. He knows that too. And then we give him some feedback in terms of a general description against the big goal, support a range of housing. You know, I think that we've heard, and I think all of us would agree, we don't want a bunch of townhouses in Lunenburg. And this is what I'm saying that we would transmit to him as a note, to say, here are the X's from input, from those who provided input. And you have our accept, reject strategy input already. And then here are our thoughts, and give him some notes, 1 or 2 points about each one of the big goals.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that we're hearing, you know, we want housing to be affordable, which is a huge challenge. Because the number one thing that makes housing not affordable is the cost of land. And the more units that you put on a piece of land, the more valuable you make the adjacent piece of land, which means now the cost of land has gone up adjacent to that. You know, so I think that, you know, because we're never gonna finish this tonight, I mean, we got like 60 or 70 pieces.
I know, but we've tried the
Yeah.
different strategies of like sending stuff to Rami,
Well-
and it hasn't worked, and that's why I'm like, I know this is tedious, but like, I think it's worthwhile, because we've now made this go from, you know, 3, you know, we've combined 2 into 1, and we're really like narrowing it down.
Okay. But I
So I understand it, I know, but, and then also like, the accept, reject, that's the consultant recommendation. I really, like, I want this to be like a Lunenburg
Well-
driven decision.
what might do that though is whether or not people who, like when I filled out my chart, if I didn't like the item, like restrict short-term rentals, I didn't give that a vote.
That's
That's
fine, yeah,
basic-
you didn't have to
That's
vote it off.
basically out.
I
Yeah,
did the same thing.
yeah,
Did
yeah,
you?
you
Okay,
didn't have
well,
to
that's-
answer anything, if we, because my goal was to kick most of these out.
Yeah.
So that we
So
could
maybe-
limit it. Yeah.
Maybe we should just, right now, go through the ones that have a vote for a must-have and a vote for a nice-to-have. So we can, is it?
Was
A
that
lot
Ken?
of people voted must have for a lot of things, so that's why I kind of wanted to go through them quick, because like I don't want one to get more attention than the other. So maybe what we can do is like easy, yes, no, and like propose your option, like kind of go through it faster, like I was saying. And I know we all have thoughts on it, and I'm not gonna skip over your thoughts forever, but I wanna, appease getting through it quickly, and then we can discuss it more. See if we can like at least knock some stuff out. So maybe you just speak up and you say like, if we all agree to get rid of it. Yeah.
I'm like, you're zeroing out items here.
Yeah, let's see what we can,
Alright,
get rid
But
of.
if they're
It's
already
difficult.
marked with the must-have column, then we should probably just
Yeah,
leave
it's
that
hard.
for now.
Well, almost all of them are marked as must-haves by somebody, and I think we should maybe define a little bit more of like what the must-have is. So like the must-have would be like, Lunenburg cannot continue to exist without this in the future, like dire need, like we are rationing food, maybe. Because we definitely can't have all of them be a must-have, even if we want them to. This is just a reality. Okay, restrict short-term rentals. That may limit housing options for local residents. Do we want to restrict people from coming here in general on short-term?
What's considered?
Well, this is like an Airbnb situation,
Yeah.
correct?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm definitely for restricting short-term rentals. Because, well, number one, are we a huge vacation spot any longer since, Whalen Park closed? But, and plus I feel like it's a contributing factor to raising housing prices too. I'm just not a proponent of it.
Yeah.
Well, if we're not, if it's not a big deal to have short-term rentals because nobody uses them,
I was gonna say, how many short-term rentals do we get a year?
Right, yeah.
If we have like 4, who
Yeah.
Who cares?
I mean, is it that big of a deal? I mean, really, if we think that there's nobody coming here anyway.
Right, like what impact does it really have?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But even having like 4 even having like 4 spots like that, I don't know. They just rub me the wrong way.
I
What
just
about
don't think
if
the
you have, like, a
corporations are
season-
coming in and buying a house to rent in Lunenburg though. They're gonna do that in New York City, sure, but they're not gonna do that in Lunenburg.
Yeah, short-term rentals are usually someone's second home that they like to go in and out of, and on the available weeks that they're gone, they like to rent it out for some extra money. That's really what a short-term rental is. Like, let's say I go away every month, and I want someone to live in my house for every month. Like, I'm not going to rent it out to someone otherwise, so it's not really taking it away from a resident.
Right.
Yeah. So if someone could do a long-term rental, they probably would. It's a lot easier.
Right, it's
Yeah.
cheaper. I just don't know if it's a must-have.
Yeah, I don't think it's a must-have.
Yeah, if we put this to a nice to have for now, would you be comfortable with that?
I have to go with the majority, so
Yeah.
of course I would be comfortable with that.
Okay. All right, provide tax relief for 65 plus homeowners. So
Yeah.
that says a must
Yeah.
have. Yeah.
That's a must-have, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That has been something that's been talked about for
Okay.
many meetings.
All right, so we'll jot this as move here. All right, allow people to purchase land and have a temporary dwelling unit on site while building their home.
We already have that.
Okay, so we don't need to
Yeah,
allow it
yeah.
any more than we already do.
we can
Okay.
cross that off entirely because we already have ADUs approved by right.
Perfect.
But these aren't ADUs, Tim. This is like the guy in Chase who was building a house and he moved a trailer onto the lot while he was building his house.
Counts as an ADU.
Does I consider ADUs one that stays regardless when you're done. So does the planning board allow temporary, like a trailer to go on the lot right now if you're gonna build a new house?
To my understanding, yes, but that falls under the same approvals that an ADU does.
What's ADU?
Additional
So-
dwelling units.
Accessory dwelling
Yeah.
unit.
Okay.
Yeah. But see, the difference between a temporary dwelling
Well-
unit and an accessory dwelling unit is that when the construction's done with an accessory dwelling unit, you can live there forever.
Sure.
And so, for a trailer, which is in my mind, is a temporary dwelling unit.
You can get trailers that are permanent units though, as well.
So it sounds like we want people to be able to do this whether or not we already can or not,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so let's agree. Sorry. And then if we can already do it, I can ask, we can
Yeah.
check, but, okay,
I think you should be allowed to,
yeah,
but not as, like, I wouldn't want a trailer to be permanent.
yeah. So it's while building their home.
Okay.
All right, encourage tiny home communities. I'm not very familiar with necessarily what they are. I could imagine one, but I don't know. Someone put this as a must-have. I'm not
I
sure.
know that.
I'm in favor of tiny home communities.
Yeah, what, I guess very briefly, are they?
I mean, it's not gonna be too dissimilar from like how you have your townhouses, like you've got a plot of land and it's basically just subdivided up into smaller homes, smaller, sets of land, smaller homes.
Okay. So it would have to be like a zoning thing,
It would probably,
okay.
and I'm assuming it would require some kind of bylaw changes in terms of how we, divvy up parcels of land, but.
Tiny home, I think, is 400 square feet or smaller though, right? That's what the definition of
Oh,
tiny.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about living in a shed. I
Mm.
mean, granted, there's some really nice tiny homes, don't get me wrong, I won't say that, but I mean,
Yeah.
that's the size you're talking about, right? It's
Yeah.
it's like.
Yeah, a tiny home, according to Wikipedia, is no larger than 400 square feet.
Yeah.
40, yeah.
400 square feet, that's like 20 by 20?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some
Okay,
ones
yeah.
I've seen, that would be a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're not necessarily opposed to it, because that's what
I
somebody
think it'd be
wants,
nice to
but,
have.
I
yeah,
think nice.
Yeah.
nice to have.
I don't think we're to the point where that's a,
Like, right, we're not gonna not be able to continue as a
Right.
town if we don't have, okay. All right, encourage the development of assisted living complex, so people had must have, nice to have. Do we think we need this to continue? We do not.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm just asking the question to ask the question, not because I think it's one way or the other.
I think particularly, we've lost a lot of medical assistance locally, and I think it's more pressing now. If you know anything about the medical industry right now, it's brutal
Yeah.
for people, and we are gonna need more medical assistance locally.
Okay, yeah, we'll leave that as a must-have.
Does anybody object to that? Because
Nope.
it's getting worse all the time.
I mean, I just worry about the strains we put on our existing infrastructure within the town. And then we're already talking about, fourth shift for the fire department and EMTs and whatnot. I mean, you make an assisted living complex, I'm not sure what you mean by complex. I mean, like a full,
Like multiple buildings and with like a.
I think that would help them if you have professional people that are helping,
right, but they're not transport people.
right?
Right, so if you make an assisted living complex, right, and people from other towns now move into your town in order to use and take advantage of that complex, now you've just increased your load on your EMT staff for transport and emergency situations.
Well, I think it's.
Yeah, so it sounds like we need this to support seniors, but that's going to strain resources like the fire department, et cetera, et cetera. So how would we, so it sounds like we might be able to fix that problem because we do have people who need assisted living. But we also, then at that point, we will need to increase.
But this is not gonna go up overnight.
No,
I mean, it's gonna be a slow build, where they can
Right.
bring in EMTs or something. I mean, it's not gonna be like,
Yeah.
hey, tomorrow we got, 600 new rooms.
Yeah,
Ain't gonna-
And but
So
believe
it
me,
would be a whole process,
Yeah.
but it's good to know, like, right, the impact of
Right.
encouraging this is this, and is that an acceptable, like, kind of project that we'll have to take on? Yes, because that, it makes it worth it, but, yeah.
I think you'll have less emergencies.
I'm just saying, you bring in more people, so the assisted living complex going down 13 in Leominster, how many times you drive by there, and there's an ambulance in the front, right? It becomes a continuous thing, right?
Okay.
We built multiple housing complexes, high-density complexes in this town, and when they were going up, they're like, oh, it shouldn't be a big burden on the police and whatnot. I live near Wayland, the police are there all the time, you know, it's just one of those things that, yeah, believe me, I'm not against it. I'm a firm believer we need to take care of the elderly and, you know, the assisted complexes and stuff like that. It's a great way to do it. But on the flip side, you gotta kind of take a look at what your overall long-term effects are
I
on the rest of
understand.
your town infrastructure.
So maybe in an area that reduces impact to the surrounding community, maybe like if we put it in a good spot where there's already like routes for those, where it's not really like bringing people super out of their way for ambulances and whatnot, that might help.
It's still, I mean, how many ambulances does Lunenburg have right now? We have two, right? One, from what I'm hearing, we have one good one and two.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, we could.
Other than the one in Leominster, are there others in this area? I can't
There's
think
one in
of.
like A or Shirley,
Is there?
off of 225, right, I
I
think?
think so.
I'm
Or
just
Groton's
thinking-
considered, I don't know what that is over there.
Yeah.
Cause Leominster's really close, I'm just thinking if there's any other surrounding towns that have something like that, that
And, you know.
Lunenburg residents could potentially utilize.
And we also
at
have
some
to
point.
take a look at what, you know, what you're looking at for nearby hospitals, right? We have one left,
Mhm.
we have Leominster. Nobody else, there's really, once you're outside of Leominster now, you're going like up to Gardner or you're going to Emerson. If you need to send an ambulance to Emerson, it's gone for the day.
Right,
Right,
well,
by the time we get there.
that's
That's the
the
situation.
dilemma.
Yeah.
When
So
I
we
first
can
thought
assess the development of an assisted living complex.
When I first thought of this one, I was thinking of the residents
Right.
here that would eventually
Yeah.
need that, not necessarily other people coming in, but
Right.
I can see that
Too.
point as well.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. There's a lot of things that we need to figure out before being like, yep, do this. But in general.
There's a lot of ways around it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, once you have like a town-sponsored one, right? If you've been a town resident for the last 5 years, you go in there, you pay a certain rate. If you come in from somewhere else, right, you're paying a different rate. That rate goes and helps subsidize
Yeah.
Yeah.
ambulance, whatever else. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not against it. Just want to throw out there that there can be some
Impacts.
Putting more to look into.
Yeah, okay, so I marked that as blue. Encourage the development of low-income senior housing. So I guess, how is that
I
different?
don't know how you do that, unless you go into tax relief, because that would be,
Are there programs from the state that like we haven't looked into that would provide people with low-income senior housing? I don't really know.
We are looking into everything that we can at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know what the zoning laws are in the town, but I know certain areas have different density allowances, like for lot size and
Yeah.
everything. But I've always been a fan of if you were to give a contractor the ability to increase density on a piece of land, as long as the dwellings that are sold at a limited capped dollars per square footage, right? That helps your housing costs, right? Because it's a little denser, but, you know, but it also limits the amount of, you know, you're not in that $600-700 a square foot mega mansion that everybody wants to build right now.
Right.
But you could do the kind of very similar for senior housing, right? I mean, most seniors, they don't need the nicest of nice, right? They just want a comfortable place to live that's affordable, and if you make it senior housing, then, you know, you make the tax rates in that particular area a little bit lower for them as well.
Yeah. So if we had to pick one of these, which one would be our priority? Probably the assisted living complex, because then they actually have some assistance, or just low-income senior housing where they're not gonna have assistance.
I would
Why do we
say,
have to pick one?
Just trying to reduce the must-haves to, well, the assisted living complex seems more practical, because it doesn't sound like we really have a lot of ability for the low-income senior housing, because we've already looked into everything, so I just don't know how we can do that.
I don't know the laws, but I think there are some laws about, that, and I don't know what they are.
Okay, I'll mark it as blue for now, and we can look into this one if we want to. Okay, require percentage of units in market rate developments to be deed restricted affordable housing. Again, I don't know too much about what this entails.
Isn't that already, oh no, that's particular, what is it, 40B?
40B.
Yeah, this
40B.
40B.
Yeah, 40B already requires that.
Okay, so
That-
we'll skip
yeah.
over
You
this,
get,
it's a
you
nice to
get,
have.
a pass on certain zoning
Yeah,
requirements.
It's already,
And
Okay,
I think, I remember somebody talking about a similar option that's 40R, where we, the town, have better control over what we want out of it, in terms of, sorry, I don't remember all the details, in terms of what we want as like affordable units or related items.
okay. Well, no, I marked it as a must-have anyways, so I'll just skip over it
Sure.
and keep it as a nice-to-have. All right, to use town-owned land to develop affordable housing. So I'll mark this as a must-have, but, you know, downsides would be, so we'd have to sell it for someone to develop.
Or the town's a landlord.
Yeah, or the town's a landlord, I just don't know how
I,
this would work.
yeah,
I vote
So,
remove.
yeah, me too,
yeah,
me too.
If you really wanted to make affordable housing, that would be one way of doing it. But it also has huge costs to the town.
yeah, so, I'll
That's a slippery
strike
slope to
that.
get down.
I'd say
It's-
no.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, establish an affordable housing trust to help identify and fund housing projects. Affordable housing trust, is that like a town thing that,
Is that even legal?
Yeah,
yeah,
I wouldn't touch that one.
okay, are we all okay with?
Yeah.
Yeah, get rid
Yeah,
of it.
get rid of that one.
Okay, great.
It's a can of worms, you just want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not a, you know, people put things down, I don't wanna, you know, eliminate people's thoughts, but, the whole. All right, combine land trusts for conservation with affordable housing.
Can I ask what that even means?
Yeah. Hey,
Land, so you have a land trust that is in conservation, and it sounds like we wanna combine it with affordable housing in some way, but I don't know if that exists.
I think that's, as I'm understanding it, that's related to the one that we just struck off. Because if it's coming out of conservation land, then like, assumedly, to make it affordable, we would have to be in charge of it, or the town would have to be in charge of it.
Yeah.
But again, I'm not sure that I'm understanding that correctly.
strike it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not something that is integral to
No.
survival. Okay. I'm gonna skip over these ones that don't have must-have, but speak up if you want me to cover it. Create a first-time home buyer program.
Nope. That, who's gonna run that way?
Yeah, the state has programs.
Yeah, and the feds have tax,
Agreed.
different tough
Yeah,
stuff, like
so
they could, yeah.
So it would be great if we were in a more like mature position in the town. But there are resources available,
Right.
so.
You could do a FHA through down or something, yeah.
Yeah. All right, we're now on to protect farmland and support farmers. Create a conservation fund to preserve farms. So I think some context here is farms are privately owned. I think getting a town fund to fund private farms, you
Nope.
know,
Yeah.
The state or federal government may offer some relief if,
Mhm.
yeah.
yeah.
There's already a farm tax credit, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
so there,
And
yeah,
if
so
you're a
there's,
farm over like 5 acres and this much is dedicated to agriculture, yes, you can get a tax break, but, yeah. All right, support
So,
farm,
wait, so what are we saying no to that?
yes.
We're saying that it seems to already be covered,
by a
Other
state
ways.
or
Right.
federal level, and we don't need this for
Lunenburg.
Lunenburg to survive.
My experiences with conservation funds for preserving farmlands is that, like the Peabody Trust, you know, which is a conservation group in Massachusetts, is that they could buy someone's farm land and put it in a trust so that the individual won't sell it to a developer who will then turn that farmland into multiple housing units. And when you look at the description of the item, if you go over to previous feedback, it says we are a farming community. And I think that we ought to at least keep it as a placeholder, not, you know, it's, like, my experiences have been, there was this beautiful piece of farmland, and the individual that owned it, they were running out of kids, running out of family, and they wanted to cash out. But they also did not want to turn into a field of houses. So
Okay.
they used a conservation trust, they made the property available to a conservation trust so that the conservation trust could then give the value of the land to the owner.
Okay.
And
this
then the
makes
conservation
sense.
trust kept the property as
Who funds,
farmland.
who funds that trust?
It's a private nonprofit. And, you know, it can then generate income by taking that piece of property and saying to an adjacent farmer, you wanna come and, you know, plant corn on our property?
Right,
can
you
do
rent
that.
the land.
Yeah, yeah. Whereas if you don't have that, there's now a house sitting next to that farmland.
Okay, so it sounds like maybe how you're explaining is a little bit different. It's upon like when people want to
Yeah.
sell and buy, and which does happen a lot in
Yes.
town.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so I think this one's worthwhile at least to give to AgCom to,
Yeah, absolutely.
let them evaluate, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, support farms by researching state grants and funding. Sure. We can give that one to AgCom unless anyone disagrees. I mean, we can look into state grants and let people know. Reduce minimum lot size to qualify as a farm for property taxation purposes. So this is a state law that we can't change. Rami says they're looking into it, but we just updated our bylaws that I know of to reflect the state one because that's what it is. So I don't know if we can do anything with this.
Yeah, state laws do.
So the state
Yeah.
law says it's currently still the 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. So we can't do anything about that.
Would we want to?
The state says, no, we can't.
I mean, like, say, like, you know, once again, this is a long-term document. Would we wanna have, you know, smaller lot size for farm purposes?
How could you? I mean, honestly.
Oh,
like,
well,
if
it
you
would
have-
it requires a change in the state law.
Right,
But is
no,
that something that we would wanna
I'm
pursue?
just saying that, like, in reality, like, how can you qualify 5 acres as a farm to begin with?
Depends on what you're raising.
Yeah, so the 5 acres you have to have, and then I think it's like 3 of which can't have your like residence on
Right.
it. So
Right.
it does have even further requirements, in addition to that, and it's really just for property taxes. So that's the only thing that it impacts is like you have to pay less property tax because you can qualify as a farm. Otherwise, it doesn't really do anything for you. I mean, yes, it also then does protect you from your farming, like right to farm. Because what a lot of people don't know is that grants for right to farm, but it's only if you're qualified as a farm, technically. Everyone else isn't really protected by that right to farm by law. So it could impact that. But it is a state
Right.
law. And I think AgCom is aware of that since they just updated their bylaw, and if they could do anything about it, they probably would. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, all right, reduce minimum lot size for agriculture, preservation, restriction, program protections. I'm not super sure what this is. Do we wanna just give it to AgCom, just to assess?
Yes.
Provide communication channels for farmers to access existing resources. Sure. I mean, it's not a must-have, but like, it is a nice to have.
Yeah.
I'll say.
Yeah.
It's also
I
cheap
mean,
and easy though.
Yeah.
So it's not, like, it's not something that's gonna
It seems like it
take a
works.
ton of
Yeah.
time, effort, and money.
It works pretty well alongside having somebody research.
Mm.
Sorry, whatever the previous one was.
The
about
5 acre thing or
Yeah.
whatever for the preservation.
No, it was like 2 or 3 ago in terms of like researching for.
Oh, state
Oh, state
grants and
grants, yeah.
funding.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're saying we want this to be a must-have because it's easy? Okay, because nobody said must-have, which is
I think keep it as nice to have.
Yeah.
We don't
You don't
need.
have to have it.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, all right, so we'll keep that as a must-have, nice to have.
Yeah.
All right, skipping over empty ones. Create a strategy for town-owned farmland. A lot of people said must-have. I think it would be good to have, you know, it's how we're doing with the buildings, like the buildings reuse, like why not we look at our land too? But do we wanna have it only be like town-owned farmland, or it's just town-owned open space? Like, I don't know if the town really has farmland.
Yeah, I don't, do
Does
we
it,
have it?
does the town even own?
Yeah.
Anyone know if the town owns enough land to be considered a farm?
Well, it seems you need 5 acres to have a farm.
Right, as if we own 5 acres, is it continuous acres? Right?
Northville Road, I think, says,
Is that 5 though, you think?
I think. But it's not considered farmland.
Well,
Yeah.
If we had town-owned farmland, I would say absolutely, we should
Yeah.
have a strategy.
Okay, so
Yeah,
we'll
but-
keep that on
Yeah.
there, and if
But
they,
I-
if that one comes back and they're like,
If we
"Well,
don't, then
But
it
is
just
it
disappears.
farmland, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the tricky word there.
Yeah, so it will specify like farmland, because I think later on there's like open
Open
space,
space, yeah.
so, yeah,
And
That's
I know
something that
there's-
we'd have to check into.
yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of weird, town-owned farmland.
Yeah.
That's a little,
Yeah, well,
that's a little tricky. I'm not,
they'll figure it
where
out,
did that come from?
someone. All right, encourage opportunities for the local community to support farmers, such as special events. They have the farmer's market, you know, I think, is this a must-have?
Where are we?
Encourage opportunities for the local community to support farmers, such as special
Do
events.
we have a farmer's market still?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
I go
they
to
changed
Waltham,
to
which
once,
is amazing.
Yeah.
this Friday, from 4 to 7, they do it once a month.
Oh, is that Friday?
Yeah.
4 to 7 at the
changed
town
it.
green at
Okay.
Passios.
Sunday
The
morning.
Passios.
Yeah, Passios, okay.
Yeah, they have a big turnout of, not huge, but great vendors. You should go.
I'd say, you know, anything that has to do with farming, because that was always something that was mentioned in all the public meetings we've had.
Yeah.
They all should be must-haves. You know, now, you know, what actually takes place in terms of the opportunity, you know, that might be something very small, or it might be something very big. But, you know, in terms of what we heard from the citizens in the public meetings, farm ground and preserving farmland in Lunenburg is something that we all want to see happen. Which kind of goes to the next item, which is inventory and protected farmland, seek opportunities for
Oh,
protection.
yeah, so that's kind of the same thing as here, create
Yeah.
a strategy / inventory.
Mhm.
So maybe we can say, and make a new one here and just kind of combine it and just
Yeah.
say inventory and create a strategy for.
What's considered unprotected farmland?
Farmland that is not going into any kind of a conservation, like, you know, somebody who's 80 years old and doesn't have anybody interested in the family to take the farm over. That's unprotected.
Okay. Just
Yeah.
privately owned.
Yeah.
No.
Right. Now, you know, if we have town-owned farmland,
Does that all under town chapter, like if you are doing that, does it have to come out of chapter and go through town first right of refusal?
I don't know that. That's a great question, Tim. I don't know. That's a great question.
Yes, that's happened recently.
Sure, we've had it for some, but I didn't know if it was specifically farmland, like we've had a couple that have just been like vacant lots
Yeah.
effectively.
But a bigger piece of land might actually fit into that category.
Yeah, so I changed this to inventory and create a strategy for unprotected and protected farmland and seek opportunities for protection.
Sure.
Great. All right, this is one here, it says encourage multiple income streams for farmers. I think what people do with their business is their business.
Yeah.
Yep.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
Like, we can't make
We can-
Hollis Hills Farms. Like, that's up to them for their own business practices.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I would definitely support more ice cream stands though.
Me
You mean
too.
the two that we have?
Me
We have-
too.
Yeah.
Gotta open up all
Ice
the
cream
other-
truck, we need an ice cream truck, that's, yeah. And followed by,
I do
you
have
know,
an ice cream
the adult beverage
Those
truck.
are Whalen all the
I-
time.
Really?
I heard it the other day,
Yeah.
actually, went by the house.
Oh, I don't hear one.
It's really quick.
Yeah, you have to run out. Or they drive right back.
All right, sponsor educational workshops about agriculture in Lunenburg.
Well, wait, can we go back to the,
Yes.
because I'm looking at the consultant comments, he said this should be first recommendation. I think-
For which one? For what?
Encourage multiple income streams for farmers such as agritourism and on-site food processing and sales. You know, agritourism can be a bunch of different things. You know, it can be people staying at the farm, you know, it can be selling blackberry jelly that you make at that farm because you have blackberries. I mean, I think that,
Corn maze.
What does this look like from the town perspective? Like, what does the town do to make this happen?
well, you know,
Short of like
you,
taxes
for
or
example, if you have a farmhouse,
Yeah.
you might have to have different zoning laws to allow someone, like a bed and breakfast
Sure.
place, so you might have to have that, you know.
But that would be like looking at the bylaws and allowing people to do more with their
Yeah.
property, not being like, I want you to do this with your property.
Right,
Yeah.
you know, it's just, you know, you recognize in the plan that agritourism, because this is an agricultural community, agritourism could be something that has value, and that the zoning laws that we would create through this plan would allow that to happen. Whereas if you say, we're not gonna do that, then some farmer who says, well, I really wanted to get in the agritourism business, now they gotta come in and help create a planning document to make that happen.
Why don't we say encourage bylaws that allow for multi-use agricultural
Perfect,
stuff.
perfect.
Is this illegal now?
It may not be, it doesn't exist. You know, it's probably not illegal,
Yeah, it's just.
but it doesn't
Because
exist.
we do have some, like the Hollis Hills Farm and.
That's Fitchburg.
That's
though.
Fitchburg.
Is that for
Yeah,
sure?
That is.
Oh.
It used to
Yeah.
be, it used to be in Lunenburg.
Oh.
Yeah, and then also the on-site food processing and sales, that's really governed by
realize
the
that.
Neshoba Valley Board of Health, so like we would probably have minimal impact on that.
Cause I think.
Maybe,
They're
maybe
very
not.
strict.
Because you gotta check the bylaws too on the whole, like, the farm tax credit thing, right? Like, a lot of times I've seen that it limits your commercial aspect to it.
Mhm.
So if you have that tax exemption, you may not be able to have something on your site to sell your goods or whatever else. I'm not saying that's the case here, I have no idea what they are.
But I think that having, in the plan, it says, the town is committed to having agritourism and on-site sales. And then you go, which I think we would be, and then you go into the weeds to say, all right, so now you're gonna be selling your blackberry jelly, that might have an impact on your tax base for your farm, because you're
For
you're not.
income, you can do
Yeah.
better tax,
Right, right.
yeah.
So, I mean, but I think that agritourism and because we want to maintain our farm, like whatever we can do to maintain our farm is, I think, should be a part of the plan.
Yeah,
And then it's just opening up still for the farmers to do what they want
Yeah,
with it.
yeah, I mean, it's not to say that we're gonna say that, you know, still when you're gonna let people come and work on your farm as part of agritourism.
The pathway to try something new.
Yeah,
okay, so I think the verbiage there is good, what we can help with. So thanks for bringing that up. All right, sponsor educational workshops about agriculture in Lunenburg. Nobody marked this as anything, so it's-
why was it grayed out?
I don't know, I think that was like a formatting from Romy, because a lot of these I noticed
Yeah,
afterwards,
it's-
I was like, these aren't, so now that it's not grayed off, does anybody have different thoughts? sponsor educational workshops about agriculture in Lunenburg. I think it's like a nice to have because, but it's like a, you know, let's say at the farmer's market, you could have somebody, you know, we used to have people there spinning wool, like I thought that was kind of neat. And they would talk to people about that. So maybe not sponsor, but maybe more of like encourage educational workshops.
He actually had reject that strategy. I wonder why.
Yeah, someone asked why is this rejected?
Yeah.
So that's why I can't see it, it is like.
Yeah, I think maybe that's why I grayed out because he wanted to, yeah, so.
I'm like,
I don't know, I think this is cool because it gets people to see stuff, learn about it, and then get the next generation interested.
It's just a difficult implementation.
Yeah, I think it's a nice to have and see what AgCom says about it. Thoughts?
So this is gonna be an unpopular statement, but I'm really struggling with, we're saying, let's bring people in, let's build townhouses, and then we're saying we're a farming community. And this community has grown, it's one of the fastest growing communities in the state. It's like second or third growing in the state. So are we a farming community and then encouraging growth? And it seems counterintuitive to me.
I mean,
And so how do we manage this?
I think
How
it needs
do
to be
we-
both at this point, just.
That's kind of
we need to
exactly
bring
what
in-
our
How
job is
do
here.
we,
Yeah.
how do we balance this? How do we say, okay, yeah, let's have lots of townhouses and let's have lots of this
well, part of it
tiny
is,
houses and do this and do that, which is encouraging growth, which is encouraging bringing in more people, but maintain that
sure.
farming community. And I'm having trouble balancing that.
I think that's, like, the townhouses and the tiny homes is the thing that I think synergizes best with preserving the farmland, because currently what we've got is like you get somebody that gets 4 acres and puts one house on it, that's now 4 acres that's been taken from somewhere else. If on that same 4 acres, you can put 10 tiny homes, like we're allowing that growth while
Yeah.
also keeping it on a smaller footprint. That's my balancing act with
Okay.
these.
All right, but that's what, I'm struggling with, do we want, and we are becoming a bedroom community more and more and more and more. And is that what we want?
We can't control
I know we
the
can't.
growth. Well, okay, sorry, we can't stop the growth. We can put things in place to try and control it so that it goes the direction we want.
So that's what I'm getting at.
Right.
So how do we see Lunenburg down the road? Do we see it as a farming community? Do we preserve it as a farming community and put things in place so that we have the growth go in the direction that we want it to? Just like what you said, how does that happen?
I think
Because
in a
I'm
way
not
that's what we're
seeing that.
doing.
I know,
kind
but
of.
I'm not seeing
Yeah.
that. I'm not seeing that with what we're saying here, I'm not seeing that.
I think once we parse it down a little bit more, we'll have something that's more like kind of palatable to answer those questions and be able to drive a bigger like strategy on the direction. Because right now there's so much stuff, and by going through it in this way, we can be like, okay, we you know, and I think it will come to the conclusion that you're saying is like we have this, you know, kind of extreme ends of farming, and then we want more housing, which I agree are contradictory, but you know, Tim makes a good point of like we need to work with it, but we'll see. Like I think as an outcome of this
I
is
think that's
what you're
writing it
saying.
down.
But
So,
it'll
yeah,
yeah.
so the other thing is, the last votes, the last town meeting, the last election, your point, nobody's coming to vote. And the people that are voting are saying, we don't want to spend money. So when we sit down to do this plan, how do we approach that?
Did you get the plan from, one of the plans that Romney promised you? We need to get that.
Yeah.
And that needs to be, and I think that would be really good to share with the whole committee, so that we can kind of see, you know, what's the end look like? You know, so that we can have these conversations with the end in mind. You know, you're absolutely correct in that there's a huge amount of tension between developers who want to come to Lunenburg and build houses because people want to live here.
Right.
And one of the reasons why they want to live here is because they drive past farmlands and greenlands and cows and pigs and Dick's Market, and they love that. You know, so there is this natural tension between the developer and the farming community. And I think that what we've heard people say is, we want to preserve the farms. Now, you know, that's a huge challenge. And I think that we understand the developer community maybe a little better because, you know, we live in houses, we don't live on farms. You know, the Ag Commission people live on farms. You know, so I think that what we really need, I was hoping we would have that. We need to press them for that.
Yeah, I'll
because
message him, I'll send him an email right
Yeah,
after this.
so that we can see what the end in mind is. You know, I'm absolutely terrified, like, we have a ZBA action for New West Townsend Road, where there's, I think, a 30-acre lot that's gonna get 20 townhomes, you know, at the very edge of Lunenburg, next to Fitchburg and Townsend. And you know, so that's absolutely counter to what I think, what we've been discussing, we wanna see Lunenburg look like.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I don't want to see that. And of course, the other thing that's going to be driving the train here pretty soon, they're going to do an on-site sewage disposal system for those 20 houses. I'm here to tell you, that's a slippery slope to go down. And eventually, they'll come back and say, well, we need sewage.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, but you're you know, you're right at the point where, you know, but this is what we gotta do. is we
So
gotta
how do we do this?
I don't know. That's the
The
reason why.
how
But
is
that's
the
what-
committee's responsibility.
Right, and how, and that's what we need to
Not our
be thinking
committee,
about.
though. The-
That's what we need to be thinking
Yes.
about as we do this, is the town doesn't wanna spend money. So do we say, okay, we don't care what you think, this is what we think should
Well, I
happen?
think these are the town's priorities. We need to figure out a way to make that happen so everybody's
Right.
comfortable financially.
So, right down on Townsend Harbor Road, there's a beautiful field that's always been farmed and now it's for sale. Those kinds of, and you're talking about
Yeah.
this new development.
Right.
What do we see, how do we make these things happen together? Because bedroom community is gonna happen, there are gonna be people that wanna move here. You said there are gonna be developers that are gonna wanna come here. Is it bylaws? I don't know, I don't have an answer, but
That fund, for one, that conservation
Yeah,
fund.
that could be one.
They're also more now aware of the right of first refusal process and able to make a plan. You know, the committees are, the select board, conservation, like, all of them are in AgCom, like, they're much more aware now of, hey, when there's parcels up for sale, we need to not miss out on things that we want. So we need to plan in advance of, like, we know the process, how to do it, and we need to have the money set aside.
but we don't have money. The
Right.
town doesn't have
But we
money.
need to plan to, like, if we can't just say like, oh, we don't have money, like, we can't do it, it's like, okay, well, that's in the past, we need to, like, look forward of, like, this is our priorities and we need to prioritize this for the funds and we create like a goal for the, you know, capital planning, finance, all those things, like, what are they working towards? And I think this
I
is gonna
agree.
give them a goal of that, and we can't just ignore, like, the priorities of, like, well, we don't have the money, like, well, these are the priorities that we're gonna strive for.
And the town, and unfortunately, if you listen to the townspeople, they're gonna tell you, we don't wanna spend the money.
Because
So
there's no
what
good
do we do?
plan. I think it's because there isn't a good plan. I think people would like to spend the money if it's, you know, obviously if they have it, but if there's a good plan in place. Right now, like, you're like, oh yeah, we'll fix this building, but we actually don't know in 2 years if we're gonna tear it down. Like, I'm not gonna support putting a bunch of work into a building that we don't know what we're gonna do with. If we have like a real plan,
I don't necessarily think that the townspeople are against spending money, because like for the last 2 years, the school overrides like have gone through because that has a good system of advertising attached to it, and that
It's
you
100 people that voted for it.
well, the last one, 400
First one was
people
400.
that showed up
It only went
for.
past, it only passed once, well, it
It
passed
only
the town meeting.
But at the
it
first
didn't
time it
pass.
passed,
Yeah.
the extra 100 people showed up, then they left
Left.
after that vote.
Sure.
Left.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying. Like the townspeople themselves are not necessarily against spending money. It's just about how you reach the townspeople. Where like for the schools has a well built-in system to reach all these people. Like there are people out there that want to spend the money, that want to improve the town. It's just that they're not necessarily as involved, and that's the part we would need to figure out.
I think this process would be a lot of, we gotta get the plan. Let's really press Ronnie to get us a plan. And then I think, because one of the things that he's already done, he's done like an inventory of existing conditions. And they've looked at the different zoning laws that the town has and the direction that it operates under today. You know, so let's see if we can get something that's finished, and then we can have those conversations
Okay.
with,
I-
against
I'm
these
just
strategies.
I'm just really struggling with these.
Yeah.
How does-
I agree.
Yeah, they seem very counterintuitive.
Yeah,
but
they
it's-
do.
But it is.
But this is the natural tension. I mean, like, you know, zoning is an underestimated force in this country. But until it starts going the wrong way,
Yeah.
you know? And then people go, oh my God. All right, so let's see if we can get, how far we can get
So
with the
I'm
plan.
sorry to take you off track, it's just
Oh,
that
no.
we just did this and now we're doing this and do they?
Deb, I'm gonna tell you a story after we're done about how zoning can change.
All right, adopt a bylaw to steer development away from open farmland. A lot of people, well, I guess one person said it's a must-have. I mean, obviously, we don't want to develop on open farmland if we can keep it from it, but didn't we have something up here that was, housing, so away from open farmland, so like not next to it, I don't know, we paid this one.
Is that the same kind of thing where we're dealing with like farmland coming out of chapter and dealing with first right of refusal?
Yeah, what is that? What is this other,
From open farmland, so yeah, I don't know if it's from nearby or from purchasing it.
Sure.
Explore adaptation of Algister allotment away
What is
from
it?
open farmland. Okay, so let's
So
reword it so it
Ronnie's
works.
saying to reword it.
Yeah,
Because
so
it
adopt a
doesn't make
bylaw to steer development away from developing on farmland, developing on or near farmland. I mean, because we know developments probably aren't great for farmland.
Sure.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
from purchasing and developing near. And then we can see what someone has to say about that, whatever committee thinks.
See, I think that's a must-have.
Yeah. All right, establish an indoor farmer's market so farms can sell their products year round.
I mean, we need a space, like, that's one significant problem we have in town, is like, we don't have.
I don't
Let's
know
say
if
we had a
that's
space,
necessary.
like, do we want an indoor farmer's market?
I don't think that's necessary, because like I buy from April Wellwood, I buy from 357, I go there and get it.
Yeah.
Most places
Right,
have some
right.
place where you can go buy it.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's worth putting in a plan, to be honest.
I don't,
yeah. So,
that's a nice to have.
nice to have.
I-
So I'll prop it as a nice to have.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. Encourage farm to table restaurants.
I think this was one that, the town manager Jen had something to say, but I don't remember what it was.
It was that we can't
We can't force
provide
people.
input into, we shouldn't provide input or interfere with public business.
Yeah.
So that one just
Yeah.
comes off.
It's a stretch.
Yeah. Alright, encourage Lunenburg residents to buy locally grown produce. I think we do this in, like, with the farmer's market.
Yeah, I think that's already done, and how,
I would
really.
just like
Yeah.
Yeah.
scratch that.
Okay.
I think the farmer's market should be better advertised.
Yeah,
I think the new one seems to have done an okay job.
I didn't know about it, but I had no social media.
right.
Sure.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people
That's the
rely
thing.
on
Yeah.
social
I've seen
media.
flyers.
Other than
Um,
social media, I mean, like, you know, sometimes, you know, people put signs up in the middle of town,
Yeah, well, it used to be displayed right here
Yeah.
on the board when it was.
like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
now the
Unless
band
When it was here.
When it was here, yeah.
and me personally, unless I'm coming to these meetings, I'm coming to center of town, so. I don't-
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, I mean, so I think that's a good point that we can at least, even offline, just be like, hey,
Fix
we
it.
should advertise this more off of social media. Not a bad idea. All right, work with nonprofits to pair people interested in farming with available farmland.
I think that's a great idea. I think there's no way to accomplish that. A town can do that.
I mean,
Yeah, how do
There's
you
no
do- how do you do
way, I
that?
don't know how we do that even.
Yeah, I don't think it's a must-have, because that's not like I think people already farm,
I don't
work
know
with
how do you
nonprofits.
accomplish that.
I mean, you could set up a committee to kind of do that, but like,
I don't know if that's feasible.
like down in the Bolton Flats, right? You ever see
No.
like, if you go down there, they have sections, they have a huge, one of the big fields down there, they have it sectioned off. And people come in and do their own little,
That's
oh,
something that
community garden.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
something
another
that
item on
AgCom
here.
could
Okay.
do.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds like something that committee could already be participating in.
Yes, I'll mark it as a nice to have for AgCom, and then they can talk about it? Okay. Okay, all right, moving on to the next section. Encourage small business development within existing commercial areas. So existing commercial areas is the focus here, in small business development. Encourage small businesses in the town center. Obviously, most of us should know the town center is not owned by Lunenburg, at least the buildings wise, so keep that in mind as well. But do we still want to encourage small businesses there?
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I think that's a great way to develop and grow.
Yes.
Yeah.
When there's already, the space is available to do so.
Yeah, the problem is, because it's not on,
Yeah,
and he keeps raising the rent, and we've lost
yeah.
so many businesses because of that. And I don't know if there's any way to buy him out.
I think that would be really great if there was a way to do that.
I think that should be a focus if there's any way to do that, because he's driving businesses out.
Mhm.
We just lost Elena's, we lost the bank. He's.
You know it's bad when a bank leaves.
Yeah.
You know, really, you know it's bad when a bank
Right,
leaves, like that's.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna
That's-
continue.
I'm sorry,
to-
I missed that. Who owns the building?
Some person that is not the town, that lives in another city.
Oh, okay.
Who's not a particularly good landlord.
Yeah, we've.
And
lost a lot.
the rents keep going up, and
Yeah.
he does not pay any of their utilities or make any repairs, or as you can see with the potholes over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
If there's any way to buy him out, that would, and I know the town doesn't have the money to do that, but it would be really good if we owned our own
Yeah.
town center.
Yes.
Okay. All right, got it.
Maybe we could, I'm gonna put this at the bottom.
Yeah.
well, you know what,
Fines,
has anybody
tax.
from the town talked to the landlord?
I
I mean, that's how you implement a strategy where it says encourage small businesses. The other thing is, the village district zoning laws encourage small business development. And one of the ways that you could entice more small businesses, and working with someone who already owns the building, is to say that we would make parking available on town property, like where the old primary school was, so that you can then have something to bring to the existing landlord to
Well,
say,
Yeah, parking's a whole nother subject on this list, right?
it is, and, but that's
So-
one, but if you don't have a strategy that says you want small businesses in town center, then there's no reason for someone like the town manager to pick up the phone and say, hey, let's have coffee, we wanna talk about your building, there's
Yeah.
vacancies, what can we do?
Yeah.
I mean, so I think that we should keep the strategy in place.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yes,
that's-
definitely.
yeah,
Yes.
Yes.
I don't think we were saying no to that.
Well, no, we're not saying no. I was
Or-
saying it would be ideal if we could have the town own, or someone in town, or the town own these buildings, because right
We
now,
would say encourage small.
it's not not an ideal situation
Encourage.
to bring small businesses in here.
Yeah, having
For small businesses.
encourage small businesses in the town center / strategize town center plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. Audit and alter existing bylaws and processes for opening a business in Lunenburg. I think this is a definite
Yes.
must.
Absolutely.
Great.
Maybe Streamline, put that in there?
Isn't it kind of streamlined already, Tim, though? Because didn't that place, the liquor store, opened up pretty quickly, right, for the planning board?
Yeah, I believe so.
It's pretty streamlined, right?
Is it, did they work on that? I know they
No,
were
we've
working
had-
on that.
That, at least things that have come through the planning board side, like it was that down by CVS nail salon went in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting.
I'm not sure about other departments, but I think planning board wise, we have a pretty good system in
Yeah.
Yeah,
place.
I just heard feedback from the Economic Development Committee that it's really hard for people to like get businesses in town
Yeah,
open and
I
stay
heard that
open.
too.
Yeah, so I think that's where this came from, because
Awesome.
there was that feedback of like, this is really hard.
Yeah, they need like a checklist of where they need to go. They don't know where to even go.
That was something that we'd specifically talked about
Yeah.
on planning board
Right.
is like, what can we do to create that checklist
Yeah.
or liaison? that-
Less
Well,
bureaucracy.
we
just
can't
'cause
be
we can do-
encouraging opening
Yeah.
small businesses if it's so difficult,
Mhm.
encouraging for people to open.
Yeah,
small
so this would
businesses.
have to happen
Yeah.
first, and then, yeah,
Right.
okay. So it's, yeah, to make it easier.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Focus commercial development in specific areas to increase activity in non-residential tax revenue. So
I
at least
feel like
one person's.
That will happen by itself though, because no one's gonna open up a store in the middle of a random field. They're gonna want to be where, in downtown.
Yeah, and it's not zoned commercially.
Exactly, so,
And I mean, I feel like that's a lot of what this one is it's just how we're gonna look at our zoning bylaws going
Yeah.
forward.
yeah.
Mhm.
so is it the same one as the zoning laws? Should we, I mean, alter an existing bylaws? I mean, it's kind of similar, maybe?
I think it's focused on a different enough group that it's worth keeping separate.
Okay.
Like bylaws are kind of general and the,
Be like this.
okay.
Audit and alter existing bylaws and processes for focusing commercial development in specific areas.
That's very specific, and that's nice. That's quantifiable.
I like really specific and clear
Right, that's a
things.
quantifiable goal,
Yeah,
what
do you-
happened.
Yeah.
Some of these are like,
Yeah.
what are they?
Yeah, they're too vague, and I think if things are too vague and
it won't
open-ended,
happen.
yeah, they're not executable.
Because it came from so many different people and
Yeah.
over a year ago, so
Yeah,
that's why it's so hard to decipher.
right? All right, make the town center more walkable.
Yes.
I think that would be a great thing. This was marked by must-have by at least one person.
Well, again, it goes back to if we're encouraging small businesses in the town center, we need to be able to get people to those businesses. We don't have parking, we don't have sidewalks, it's just,
Yeah,
it's really,
yeah,
doesn't work. If we're gonna do those other things, then we kind of have to have
yeah.
the,
No, but
Parking
that is
in the
must-have. This is another one that Jen was like, no.
The
we can't
business
do this.
incubator?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's, no.
No, the next one,
Oh.
sorry, use town land to develop
No.
a business
Nope.
incubator.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I
we're
just-
striking that. Again, this one too, develop a startup grant program for small businesses.
No,
Yeah.
let the feds handle that, or state.
Yeah, there's,
Resources.
yeah, also that. Provide commercial rent subsidies for a specific time period to help small businesses. I don't think that, yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of along the same lines.
Can't rent anything.
Developing a permitting guide to help people navigate the
I
process.
think we all agreed
Yeah,
before,
yeah,
that
we
was
said
just,
that.
yeah.
Yep, so we'll do that. And this might be, combined.
Yeah, that's part of that.
The whole,
Yeah.
the big one.
Yeah, advertise spaces available for lease or for sale or lease.
If we
This
own
was
them.
another one.
Well, that's.
Yeah.
If we own them,
If we
sure.
own them,
Yeah.
yeah. If we don't.
This was,
I can see that it makes sense even from like advertising spaces that we don't own, that are privately owned, because it still means moving business into the town and creating that revenue.
I don't know if I want the government or anything to, like, hey, we got this spot open, go talk to this landlord, and that landlord becomes an idiot and shies the person away,
Sure.
and then they don't want, the Lunenburg, I dealt with this horrible guy, I don't want to deal with him anymore. I'm not going to Lunenburg, I'm going to Fitchburg.
Sure.
so maybe.
But that's gonna happen regardless of whether or not we point them towards that person or not. Like, they're gonna encounter a shitty landlord and be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, this guy
I
sucks."
mean, I think the best thing you can do in that situation is have an open space, like, area of your website, right?
Yeah.
And just-
Oh, sure.
Yeah, so maybe
Yeah.
it's nice to have for the EDC to consider.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that.
Nice to have.
Nice to have.
Yeah.
Nice to have, I don't think
Yeah.
that's a.
Yeah. All right, provide marketing opportunities for small businesses. I don't think that's something that the town.
Nope.
Is the EDC actually a town commission? Or are they, I thought they were,
I'm not sure.
They are.
they are, okay. Maybe I'm thinking of like that Central Mass Business, but I think with the sign.
Like the Worcester County,
Yeah,
such and such.
yeah. Okay, so provide marketing opportunities for small businesses. I mean, that might fall into their realm of being okay, maybe a nice to have for the EDC, or do we not want to do that? Because we think
Provide which
it's-
one?
Provide marketing
Provide
opportunities for small businesses.
I mean, I think put
I mean,
that, put that to EDC and see what they think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
If anything, that'd be a nice to have, because
Nice to have.
the small business would probably do their own, I mean, we can, can I put a flyer to the library? Sure, no problem.
Yeah, we'll see what they have to say.
Yeah.
Hire an economic development director.
We,
Was that discussed in terms of like, that's for dealing with like large businesses, I think.
It says in the comments that we've given from him, it was, if there's enthusiasm, accept, if not reject, or put in a nice to have category. And then what we said was not appropriate for level of business, we want one of
Right.
our sons.
Okay,
I agree with that.
It is,
yeah.
it is marketed more towards, if you're having like a factory come in or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How to negotiate the big tax
I
rates.
think
So
Get rid of
just
not a priority.
strike it out?
Yeah,
I'd check it out.
I'd strike it.
All right.
We're not to that level.
The town needs more employees, but not for that.
Yeah.
Fair. All right, increase visitation with events, placemaking, and programming in the town center. So this would be more like an advertising.
I mean, so are we talking like the vendor fair that happened a couple months ago? Or are
Or
we
the
talking
stuff-
about events like that?
Because the events, like the Lunenburg Ledger has every week what's going on.
Sure.
Increase visitation, so we're saying like we probably want to improve advertising for events in the town center.
Yeah. Well, it says increase programming too, so it sounds like it's increasing
I think it should be
use of the
in,
town center as well as
Do
getting
we
the
want,
word out.
I'd say we want more events like what we had with,
Yeah.
those, and I think it's not nice to have, I think that's stuff we want the community to be able to come to downtown Lunenburg.
So maybe we can increase use of town center for events / programming. Is that kind of more what we're thinking of? But then obviously that ties into more walkable and this and that. So this would be like,
Yeah.
make it more walkable, then we can use it more.
Yeah,
Or
okay, so-
if it's like, no one uses it anyways, why should we make it more walkable? Then it might flip.
Right.
But, yeah. All right. Review and modify zoning barriers to business investment.
Yeah.
Yes, that's on another one, so we're probably not combining that, but. All right, bring in businesses that create well-paying jobs in industrial and commercial areas.
which is the exact opposite of preserved farmland.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and it's interfering with like
Small houses or,
things and
Yeah,
because we don't want the big
businesses.
office complex with,
right.
4 floors of
Industrial and
offices.
commercial.
But like in existing industrial and commercial areas, for example, like near Keating's, where like that big Amazon warehouse is.
Yeah, so where there's already.
Yeah, so like where there's already stuff, like do we want to bring in businesses that create well-paying jobs?
And use the existing areas.
I'd say it's nice to have,
It's
at the minimum.
Yeah, it's a nice to have, maybe.
Or maybe it's like a,
Like a how.
it's like, I don't
It's
know.
like, I work for a tech company, a tech company ain't gonna go to Lunenburg.
Yeah. Maybe it can be like, we can't say like no, like we can't pick specific businesses. We can't tell specific businesses we can't have them,
Right.
they can't come in. I don't know, I don't think that we can,
I think
Do
this would
anything
happen
with this.
naturally if we get downtown restaurants, stuff like that, then maybe an office or somebody would come in and say, hey, why don't we go to Lunenburg? They have this downtown area, it's nice. I think it would happen organically.
what is the comments?
If
This
we
is
did.
not executable.
It wasn't.
I don't think
No,
this is
it's-
executable.
It's not by the town.
Just accept
Yeah,
strategy.
it's
when
not.
I think nice to have.
I mean, the only nice thing is like over by, like Keating Pollard.
Yeah.
You are close to Route 2 and whatnot.
Right, and you have some businesses over there right now that are probably decent paying, like the plastics and the
I
chemical
don't
companies
need
that are
that.
over there.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
not so much.
But is this
creating
something how that the town can really participate in? Like,
All you can do is if somebody's interested in looking
I,
at
Yeah.
land.
I guarantee you that if Keating says they were gonna close shop, that the town would get involved.
But that's an existing business.
Yeah.
I mean, the town, if someone came in and said, I want to build, sure, town may get involved, but I don't know, I just don't know how the town can do this.
Exactly.
Like, sure, if Keating were to close, I'm sure the planning board, everybody would come in and go, what can we do to make you stay?
Right.
But bring in businesses that create well-paying jobs, I don't know how, the town's gonna go advertise, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. I think you want to have goals on here that are executable.
And this also might be covered by adjusting the zoning laws, making it easier for
That's-
places to come in too.
That's true.
mm,
And that you've already
Yeah.
addressed, right?
There should be addressing laws that maybe be fast, you have a fast track for, not fast track, but like a list for a restaurant, or a list for an office building, here's what you need to make this happen kind of thing. And it goes back to that previous goal of checklist or whatever we had.
Yeah.
If you don't include it, then you basically have a master plan that's silent on the issue of creating jobs in existing industrial, commercial areas. I don't think that's what we want. I think we want a master plan that says, we have existing commercial industrial areas, and we should try to support those. If we don't have it in a master plan, it means we don't acknowledge that.
That's different than creating, so maybe we
Right.
change it to say supporting existing
That's,
commercial
I would agree
areas
with that language. Yeah.
instead. Because
Yeah,
we don't wanna we don't want them to go away, but
Right.
we can't really force people to come in and build.
The
Yeah.
biggest carrot you have for most businesses that come into your area is your taxes, right? And that's the last thing we can do is reduce taxes on somebody.
Taxes and qualified people. So what are you changing it to?
support existing industrial and commercial areas slash businesses.
Okay. And then make it nice to have, must have.
I think it's nice to have because, you said, oh, if Keating leaves, yeah. But it's also not an overnight thing for Keating to leave to rebuild all that somewhere else. Like, I've moved offices. It's not as something as, oh, we'll move tomorrow. No.
Yeah. Yeah,
All right.
yeah. But-
Keating's owned by a French company.
Is it?
Yeah. They wouldn't hesitate to leave.
They do also, they've got 2 other plants in Massachusetts, Acushnet and somewhere
Yeah.
else.
Develop mountain bike trail network. I think this, if anything, is a nice to have because that's.
Yeah, nice.
And we have places to do this, in our conservation areas.
Develop a dog park.
Very popular.
We can get money to pay for it.
I'm surprised there
I'd
wasn't
say
a dog
it's a
park in
nice
the
to
Marshall
have,
Park
I'm
plan.
sorry.
I say it's a nice to
Nice
have.
to have.
Nice to have. I agree.
Town's not gonna fall apart without it.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, every community that I've been around that has a dog park, it's one of the most popular places there is. And the current mayor of Fitchburg, she cut her political teeth on her dog park.
Yeah.
As long as it's away from my house, bring all the dogs over there. It's fine with me.
I love on bikes.
Nice to have.
Look what they did with Marshall
Nice to
Park.
have, yeah.
All right, encourage new developments to provide access to adjacent conservation land. So this one is, like, we want them to be able to, for people to,
Like
Yeah.
right away of driveways of people, if they build next to something, the land's considered where they can go to it. Is that what this means?
this one always kind of.
It's like my house, is that Kevin Hill bought 30 acres of property, and there was some foot trails that led into the lane in Town Forest. And the Conservation Committee said, we really want to maintain that, and Kevin agreed. And he reworked the trails to make it easier for people to get into the conservation area.
Okay.
So I'd say, yes, you want new developments to have access to adjacent conservation land. And that shouldn't be nice to have, that should be a given for a developer.
Yeah, Right, it's not taking anything away from anyone now, it's just making a new requirement that it makes everybody's lives better.
And thank God the Conservation Committee did that together.
Yeah.
So do we want to change encourage to,
To cheese.
like, are we saying that that has to be the way it is?
Maybe we can say ensure new developments
Yeah.
provide access.
Yeah.
Because encourage just means like, hey. if
Yeah,
you want
because I
to.
said no to
It
this
might be
because I
great if
didn't
you do
understand
this.
what it meant,
Yeah,
because it's not clear,
That's fair.
so yeah.
So
change
is there a
the
way we
words,
can
yeah.
ensure new developments provide access to citizen land? So when developments are built,
There you go, now I get it, and I would say yes.
Yeah.
But some of this is so,
public can still
Don't
access
understand
trails, existing trails, okay. Great. I like being clear and detailed. Sorry guys, hang in there with me. We're hopefully towards the end. Provide parking and improve pedestrian access to town beach.
I said this.
Yeah,
would be wonderful, my question is, how?
that's for parks to figure
It
out.
needs to get figured out.
Put in a
It's
bike
my
rack and let them
7-year-old.
park
I mean,
down
no,
the street.
seriously
Yeah.
though,
Yeah, you got a mountain on
Yeah,
one
there's
side
nowhere
and
for it to
one-
happen.
yeah,
But, you know, maybe there's somewhere else that we can have a parking lot and then there's a nice sidewalk.
yeah.
It also needs to be more accessible.
Yeah, it's something
To
that people
everybody.
want
Yeah,
really
I mean,
bad.
I mean, I've
It's
driven
on-
by there, I was looking at this, and I've driven by there like 3 times, trying, from different
Angles trying to
angles, trying to figure out how would you do this?
Mm-hmm.
And to put this on the plan, I think is great as a, let's think about this, but I can't imagine any way we can do this.
It is such a dangerous curve. That's the area I live in, and that's such a dangerous curve to begin with.
How big is Whalen Lake? Does anybody know the acreage?
99 acres.
But
So-
where the town
So
beach is.
here's one way to do it. You fill in 1 acre of lake.
Good
luck.
Yeah.
But where the town beach is the problem.
Yeah.
It's not an area that, you know,
Right.
that's all
Well, maybe
private,
they
the rest
could-
of it's all private.
Yeah.
And where the town beach is such a lousy access.
Well, you have all the parking down at the lakefront, and it's
Right.
really not that far of a walk. If you were to put a sidewalk in down that
Yeah,
side.
Even
that's,
that- even
that's
that
the
would be
real.
Even that
better.
would help, but
That's the real-
still, those are private business, and then now it's Emerald City or whatever it is now. What is that now?
Emerald City.
I wish it was called
Emerald
Is
City.
it Emerald City?
Was that?
Well, we want town beach, so we gotta put it in the plan,
Yeah.
figure out how to make it
Yeah,
work.
we're,
Right,
we figure it out, all right.
All right.
Provide public access to Lake Shirley. So there is public access, but it's bad, and there's no spot for people to like park and do stuff. So I think
Can we
Kind
even,
of
good,
can we
nice
even
have.
do that though, or no, is Town of Lunenburg, or does Shirley own like?
It's Lunenburg, I
It's
believe.
Lunenburg?
I believe it's.
it's
in-
on Reservoir Road, and it's like you have to put your boat in through the weeds.
But I'm saying, like, who owns
But
that
it's
property?
in Lunenburg.
It's in
Oh, it's
Lunenburg,
Lunenburg.
right?
It's
Yeah.
on Lunenburg.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
The pipe they're talking about is in Lunenburg.
Yeah, yep. So there is technically, but it's not good public access. So we can say like provide/improve public access.
Yes.
Yeah.
The public can get to Lake Shirley now,
Yeah.
so, I mean, it's gotta make it better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Create a trail to connect Lunenburg to neighboring towns. If anything, I think that's nice to have. I don't know what neighboring towns have for trails and how we can connect it, but at least we can.
I think it's a nice to have because of that reason.
Nice.
We may have it, but we can't force anyone else to do it.
That's
so,
right.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, create a trail to connect conservation areas.
nice to have.
Nice to have.
Right?
Yeah, develop a walking trail network.
Nice to
Nice to
have.
have.
Yeah. Ensure maintenance of existing parks and playgrounds.
That's a must have.
Must.
Yeah, a lot of people said must.
Yeah.
You know, we're not talking about like, let's create a whole bunch of new playgrounds or this and that, which, you know, isn't necessarily a bad idea either, but we should at least maintain them, the ones that we have. Create a campground.
Nope.
Yeah, no one had this. I think it was grayed out. Yeah, no one wants to
Yeah, I know.
Improve parking and access to all trails in town. So this was an interesting one. I went to a planning board meeting one time. That was interesting. But again, I think this is a nice to have. It would be nice to have. It's not gonna Lunenburg, it's not gonna, that they go away because we can't park at the trails. As
I've
it's-
only had bad parking once, the one on 2A. I feel like I've never had a bad experience with parking.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. But it has gotten better. They like paved over. the
Yeah,
giant,
it's gotten,
like,
it's
down
never been
pothole.
horrible though. Yeah.
Yeah,
And this is something the town is currently working on.
Yeah,
yeah,
Is it,
If it's currently working on it, then
yeah.
it's must. If it wasn't working on it, then you'd say it's nice to have, but if it is,
We're already
it's
doing
must.
it.
are we
Yeah.
talking
Like-
about just general access or is there universal access? For people with disabilities are able to get to the trails? I'm not sure. I've only been to a few, but
The ones that I know of, the trails themselves aren't necessarily accessible.
Yeah, they're not like
Um,
ADA.
so if we start messing with it, are we gonna have to do it? Like, are we grandfathered in to the point where we can be like,
so this just says improve parking and access to all the trails. I'm not asking about necessarily if the trails are, but can everybody that wanted to get to the trail, the parking and the trails to access it if they're able?
Okay.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so
Okay.
yeah, so is
In
there,
general,
is there
yes,
disability
In
parking?
general,
Is
yeah.
there?
Why it's, like, it should be must, because we already have.
Yeah.
Off of Holman, you have, at the end of Holman, before the abandoned bridge, there's a parking area there, all right? And it gets plowed by the town during the winter time, so it means that the town's committed to that. But it's an awful place. And with some improvement, it would be a much better place for people to park.
Yeah.
So it's there, and we need to make them better, you know?
Oh gosh, we have so much to do.
No, it doesn't say that we should have, like, there's another entry point to Town Forest and Lane Forest at my house.
Okay.
And the people that come there, they park at the Woodlands Drive that's blockaded. You know, because they know that there's no one coming out of that drive from the Woodlands because there's a gate. But every day you go there, there's 2 or 3 cars that are parked there, people that are going into the Lane Forest, the Town Forest,
Yeah.
using the access way that goes past my house. So we have opportunities, and we actually have places that we're doing this, so we need to say it's must have.
What did we say for the town beach one? Did we say must have or must have?
Yeah. Yep.
Which one?
Must.
have. Sorry.
Yeah.
Because that's also not disability universally accessible, so I think we could add something about accessibility in there as well. There's a ramp to get to the beach house, but there's no way to get from the beach house to the beach.
Fair. Okay, I'll let that.
Unless you're gonna roll through the sand or use a cane through the sand or.
I hate sand. If you wanna put blacktop on all the beaches, I'll be there. I'm
Even-
not gonna lie.
Even just a little,
I'm not gonna
like
lie.
they do at the state beaches, just that little like
The little
runner
path. Yep.
path just to get to this, I mean,
Yeah.
it's still, you can't path the whole beach or there'll be no beach, but just to get from the blacktop to the,
Yeah, I
Sand.
added it in there, including the accessibility. All right, organize open space in new developments to provide wildlife connectivity. Yes. I think
Don't we have
that's-
one in here for developments and open space? What do we do with that? Because I kind of see that as the same thing.
The develop an outdoor space
We
for
did.
large community events?
No.
no, we did,
No.
where is it?
Oh, was it access?
It was to have developments maintain open space. But this
Yeah.
one is more specific. This one's to provide wildlife, and we might be able to combine these into one.
I'd say
Yeah.
combine.
Come on.
Yeah, all right,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna flag this, combine into the other open space development one. Okay. But must have, I mean, we wanna
Yeah.
have wildlife be able to
Yeah.
build this is.
They need accessibility
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. Incorporate resiliency strategies for conservation land.
What's a resiliency strategy for
Yeah, what is
conservation?
that? So, what does that even mean?
Um,
I'm not sure.
Resiliency strategy for me is a disaster recovery plan.
yeah. I mean, we could ask, what
Or
this
we could-
is.
Yeah, I mean, we can define resiliency strategy.
Or we could get rid of it.
So maybe it's more of like, let's make sure our conservation land is resilient against like environmental occurrences, like storms, natural disasters, fire, or maybe even impact from like local businesses or wetland protection and contamination.
Wouldn't it be covered in our bylaws for like the protection against businesses, because you couldn't go up by some amount of feet or whatever, something? I don't know, I'm just trying to condense
Yeah.
these into,
Yeah.
Yeah, like there was a report that I read about the Lane Forest and the Pine Forest, and talked about logging, you know, to get rid of some of the,
Yeah, and then like clearing out
Yeah.
stuff for wildfires
Right,
and stuff.
right,
Okay.
right.
So if we're taking it from this, so like let's add some stuff here to protect, I'm gonna create a new one because I don't remember it.
And there has been, as far as I know, there's been absolutely no mining of trees in the town forest or Lane. And there probably should have been, you know, if for no other reason, there's a lot of tinder for fires.
Okay, let's incorporate resilience strategies for conservation land to protect from natural disasters, environmental concerns, etc. Maybe, and then we can prompt that to the parks.
Yeah.
Um,
And the Conservation Committee.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, correct.
I think it's
But probably more conservation, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and what do we think of that? That's probably like a nice must-have.
I'd say
Must
must have.
have.
Yeah, okay,
No, it's not, that's no small piece of work.
yeah, yeah.
That's years of planning.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, next topic, support community gathering spaces. Develop a town green in the town center. Regardless of if it's possible in the current state or not, do we want to do that?
No.
I think it's a nice to have or no, because we don't need it to survive.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Cause like you go into like Townsend, they have the really nice like town green town center with the gazebo and the walking, like, you know,
Yeah,
ours
we
is smaller.
We have a gazebo.
Which
In
no
the
one
middle
goes
of
to.
the busiest part of
I
town.
know. I wish we could
Much
make
better.
it different so that would be easier walking to there.
I mean, we could say.
We have a town green.
Improve our
We-
town green.
Okay, so we have a
And make
town
it more
green.
walkable.
And for us to say it's not, you know, nice to have means that it doesn't change. We have a gazebo that's
Yeah.
used for two reasons. One, light a Christmas tree in December,
And the
and
concept.
two, for prompters to go down and get their prom pictures taken. And then the rest of the year, nothing happens. You know, so this is something I've actually talked to Rami about, and he and I've had an ongoing conversation about where we do things. We do band concerts next to TC Passios. We just had a major event next to TC Passios. And that has become the de facto
Mhm.
town green.
Yeah, it's a better space.
It is a better space. Memorial Drive is absolutely positively a better space for town events.
Yeah.
Now, you know, we have the library on one side, we have a gym on the other, we have the adult education center. I mean, those are the kinds of things that, you know, surround, and we have town hall at the end of Memorial Drive. You know, so those are the kind of things that say, that's your de facto town green.
So do we
But-
not want, we don't have to suggest developing the town green in the town center.
What was that?
We can leave it as it is and
But-
prioritize it in that space.
I think that is town green. You know, so
I think what he's saying is we should focus on using,
Yeah.
on using TC Passios
Create-
as the
Right,
town
yeah,
green.
yeah.
create
I'm agreeing
create,
with that.
there ought to be a plan for that to be created.
Yeah.
You know, I would hate to see, Josie and I talked about the gazebo, I guess her husband's grandfather built a gazebo. And it's sad to see the gazebo be so underutilized, when you see communities like Townsend just rebuilt their gazebo, because that's where they have their band concerts. It'd be nice for us
Yeah.
to, you know, like, you could use it, but not the way it is.
Yeah.
So do you want-
There's a plan, just so you know, to move the band concerts next year up to behind the
Where you're
adult activity center where we have the new.
pavilion.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a great place.
That's a good
Yeah.
idea.
But once again, that emphasizes that,
That's super
That's-
We
close
should move
to
the
the,
gazebo to.
that's the super
over there.
close to the town green that is.
Right,
Yeah.
I'm just,
Yeah.
just,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great.
so,
So,
that
yeah.
looks like that'll happen next year.
So maybe do we want
So-
to develop the town green in that other location and not in the town center?
Could we classify as improve town green? Because improving it could be moving it.
So like, the thing that I've always thought about the town green is like, the best way to make it usable, like, we've got, sorry, what is it? Whiting Street and, what is it?
Day Road.
Leominster, where they like split and things.
Yes.
Like if you close that little stretch of Leominster, like you've got sidewalks, you can go directly there. You don't have to cross the roads. Whiting Street still allows you to
Yeah.
access.
You could do that. In fact, that's one of the things that I sent
Yeah,
out
you
to
can mention
Ken.
that.
Is that the way you could make the existing gazebo space more user-friendly would be to close Leominster. Now, you have to guarantee access to the driveways that are off of Leominster as you move down Leominster before you get to Whiting. So what you would do is you would close Leominster, you put bulwarks or something up, but still allow people local access to their
Yeah.
driveways. And then force people to go to Lancaster, and then if they really want to go to Leominster, then they gotta cross
Yeah.
Whiting in front of those two houses that are on Whiting. That's doable, Tim, but I think one of the things that gets missing with that is you're now not next to a gym, you're not next to the adult learning center.
I think
and
the
you're not
TC
next,
Patios is
yeah,
a
and
better
you're not
option.
next to
Yeah,
the
but what do we do
library.
with that area then, I guess is the question.
Yeah,
Sure.
I don't know what you would do
Maybe
with
it's
it.
not a town green, but
What?
it could be improved in some
Yeah.
way. The gazebo.
Or you could sell the
Like
land, you
community
could sell the
garden.
land and let somebody put a house there.
We still have to improve like walkability, but,
Yeah.
alright,
All
so
right.
maybe,
Parking,
And parking.
yeah. So maybe like assess
this
Yeah.
area,
/ develop
especially
town
for
green.
moving more
What is that
offices
area
and-
called?
Yeah.
What
Next to
TC Pat,
Tassios?
Memorial Drive.
Okay.
But wait, whoa.
Check
Between
between
on-
Tassios
on
and
Memorial
Kings
Drive?
Kingdom.
No, that just identifying Memorial Drive as to where the area is that we're talking about. Not closing, I know you have concerns about closing Memorial Drive.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, there's ways of dealing with creating that space as a pedestrian-friendly area, and still have Memorial Drive open. It's not open now, Deb. I mean, you can only drive so far on Memorial
Yeah.
Drive, and then there's a gate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so this would be,
Just because if we
Do we
moved
want
the
that to
town
look like a
green to
nice
TC
hat?
Pasios, we would need accessibility to get
I want that to
more
be a
parking
must
and more
have.
space.
a must to
So it
at
wouldn't
least
take
assess
away
it.
from the.
Yeah, and one of the reasons why is
No,
because
Maybe
the
like,
town mows grass at the gazebo, the
We
town
need to
maintains
not
the
mess with
gazebo,
Memorial
people
Drive.
wanna use the gazebo, I mean,
It's bad enough already.
So town green in the town center, we don't want to do that.
no, I think it ought to be a must have,
No, to,
the gazebo
Like-
part,
yeah,
we're talking about doing what you said.
yeah.
She's
moving
agreeing
it
with you.
to Memorial Drive, not where.
No, not Memorial
currently-
Drive.
The what is-
Moving it to the TC Pasios.
That's what I was,
The green
yeah,
area.
Yeah, go
sorry,
ahead.
I thought
Use
that was Memorial Drive.
Use that.
No, it's not Memorial Drive.
I need to
Well,
drive around
it's
more
the
of it,
street
yes.
there, but we're not talking about the street,
Oh,
we're
okay.
talking about the green area.
Yeah.
Okay, but we don't, do we
Between the
wanna,
park and the TC Pasios.
yeah, do we wanna suggest anything about the current town center where the gazebo is? Is there anything that we wanna say about that?
Parking. Wouldn't that be cool?
What was that?
We always need parking here.
Turn that into a parking lot?
Yeah, why not?
It helps with the green spaces.
No, I know.
Tear it down! Fill
No,
up with
but seriously,
Um,
if this ever comes to fruition, that this becomes additional town offices, and we're looking for parking,
Well, that would be a part of like making the town center more walkable and this and that, so I think
Right.
like this portion, we can remove, replace it with this, then that will be incorporated.
Yeah.
So I know it's 8:11 and we do
I know,
have
I know.
a little bit more to go.
It's
and I-
not, it's
I
losing
know.
green space, I know.
Yeah.
But you're putting in.
I'd really
Green
like to
lot.
get through this so that we have something, and then, cause this will kind of be like probably one of our longer meetings, and then
Getting
it'll be
there.
shorter from then. We're almost there, so I just wanted to gauge, like, is everyone okay staying for a little bit longer to get this done?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, and if you need to leave, I understand, we'll still have quorum, hopefully, but, alright. Develop an outdoor space for large community events.
I think we just talked about that.
Yeah.
So,
That goes hand in hand with the TC Pasios, King's Kingdom, Kids Kingdom, it's green space.
yeah, so we can, for outdoor community space. So I'm adding that to that one, assess it to, for the outdoor community space, and then this one we can just remove because it's combined with that. Develop a community garden.
Well, I think we still need to continue to develop more outdoor spaces for large community events, not just that one.
Okay.
Because that's really a nice space, but I think there are times when we're gonna want
More,
a bigger space.
yeah. Like the land on Northfield,
Yes,
like the
Yes.
60 acres that the town has in
yes,
Northfield.
yes, for sure.
What would we do?
Where's, well,
There's 60 acres off North Hill Road.
where
Down
that's
past
on?
the golf course, down around that area.
Okay.
That's conservation.
We're having
Yeah.
that.
The
We're having that
table,
at the tree farm.
Yeah,
You know
All
that.
this with the town owns.
yep.
No more bonfires.
isn't that all the
No,
Table
somewhere.
Rock trails?
Burning Man.
Or is it on the other side?
No, I don't, Michael, Michael
It's actually
Jackson's
not part
presented
of,
it
not part of Table Rock
at
Town.
one point, didn't he? Didn't Michael bring, oh, that was really early on, you were there.
Yeah, that was a long time.
I'm gonna mark this as a
Yeah,
nice
we
to
have
have,
it.
because we have one community space, and having more
Here.
big outdoor space would be nice, but we're not gonna die without it.
Here it is.
Yeah, the town owns that.
This is all the open space. Michael Ray Jeffries brought,
Oh, yeah, that was a while ago.
I think they'll develop outdoor space and put in there, in parentheses, greater than 50
I don't know if
acres.
that's the right one, but he brought all those in for us. All the-
Oh, yes, I remember what you're talking about.
Because we have that.
That was a while ago.
50 acres?
Yeah, that was like,
60 acres.
when was that?
2020, that was last year.
This 2024.
Well, can't we just, oh, yeah, so we have
Yeah,
that, so
okay.
we could develop that for,
Thank you, I remember what you're talking about, yeah.
What is it, is it open space?
Yeah, there were all these,
It's open space.
from town-owned land.
Field.
Field.
All right, develop a community garden. A lot of people thought this was a nice to have.
nice. There's too many questions about it.
Improve the farmer's market.
That was already in the other one, wasn't it?
That was-
Yeah, we did
that
that.
was
Yeah. Where was that?
In the beginning.
in the farmer's
In the-
section.
yeah,
Farm section
Farm
one
Farm
was,
section.
there was one for like advertise,
Talked
Yeah,
about
that
it.
was,
Where is
Right there,
it?
create better space for farmers.
yeah, Creed.
Oh,
that's-
Farmer's market.
Yeah, so we don't think we need to improve the farmer's market.
No.
Okay,
No.
that's great, that's all right. Improve advertising of events across town. I think it'd be nice to like have like a thing on the website.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a easy,
Community calendar.
it's an
is-
easy win too.
Yeah. All right, next to have, make pedestrian safety and access improvements to Lower Town Common to turn into a town
We
green.
just talked about
Let's
that.
talk about
And
that.
so let's, but that, so it's striking through because we're not turning it into a town green.
No, we should focus on the other area.
Yeah,
Yeah, just get rid of that.
all right. Develop options for green space at 30 School Street.
That's
not.
this one right
That's
behind
right
you.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That-
so that's no.
That's a no?
I don't know. I thought we were focusing on the TC Passios area.
Well, what are we gonna do with this?
I don't know.
Well,
I mean,
the current plan for town hall was to use a portion of that
Right.
for parking.
Yeah,
And that's a great place for parking because it's a parking lot that's out of sight.
yeah, that was kind of.
And then it's also a place where you could do the shared parking.
yeah,
that the
except
village
that that
district
got,
encourages. But
For now,
for
but.
now.
it's gonna come back.
I hope so,
Yeah.
I hope so.
So do we want to put in a thing here of like, consider that space for a town center parking lot?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And, you know, I think Marshall Park plan and Marshall Park is the prime park space. You know, one of the reasons,
all right.
one of the reasons why it went down the path of becoming green space is because there was opposition to tearing down the old primary school. And the select board chose to say, well, we're gonna turn it into green space to make that decision more palatable.
Do we think this is a nice to have or a must have?
I
I'd say
think it's
it's,
a must.
Must.
We need the parking no matter what, if we're gonna ask for all these,
Yeah.
new businesses and a new town
it's,
green
it
or
could be a
new
huge,
space.
huge incentive to say to somebody,
Yeah,
you can come in here and we're gonna give you parking.
yeah,
Well,
I mean,
see,
we just have parking.
the town does not own the that parking lot.
Right, I know,
Yeah.
that's why this over here could
Right.
be really a big
Right.
plus.
Yeah. We can't do any of the other stuff we're talking about without
Yeah.
Right.
a way to get there.
Fair.
Well, like, for example, the gas station which the town does own is, it could be a nice little retail establishment that doesn't meet the zoning requirement for parking. And like, for the little bakery that's down in Pepperell, you know,
On the Rotary?
That came
Yeah.
by the planning board
What?
last year. You made turning that into like a small like office space or something.
yeah, but you could turn it into retail if you could say,
I'm sorry, it was a combo.
you could park over here with the old schoolhouse.
Yeah, okay, I've heard of some of that stuff. Allow use of school grounds for community events.
Absolutely.
What's
Yeah.
keeping us from doing that now?
You have to pay.
No plan.
Probably gotta pay for janitorial
You'd have to
service,
pay.
insurance.
We allow it.
That stuff.
We allow it, right?
We can allow it, just people aren't paying a bill for it.
So allow
I see what you're
slash
saying, yeah.
continue to allow. Yeah. Use green space in the library for large gatherings.
That's
Is
what we already
that
talked
what-
about.
that's
We
the
already-
same
I'll combine
thing.
it,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll
It's the
combine
same
it,
thing.
post it down. Develop a large gathering space on large ton of properties, we already
covered that.
covered
Yeah.
that, I'll
Yeah.
combine it. Use agricultural land for events out of growing season. I don't-
That's gonna happen for the 300th anniversary, because Jim Latanzi says he's gonna let us use his tree farm for our festivities.
Perfect, happy to hear it.
That'd be easy to get.
So wouldn't that be, is that something we could really
Yep.
make people do? Like, wouldn't that be someone giving permission?
Yes.
You ask them and they
Yeah, I
give
think this
permission,
is
like,
like a strikeout, cause we can't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't make
It's
people
us.
do that.
Yeah, it's great that he's doing that.
Sure. What we can do is try and, what do we do to make it easier for the town to facilitate these kinds of agreements?
mm,
But I'm not sure, beyond what I just said, I'm not sure what
It's gonna be hard to
that
get
even means.
anybody to let you use their land
Yeah.
in this day and age, because
Sure.
you're falling a gopher hole, break your ankle, now you own the land.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
see, like, that, going to Tim's point, the town could say, we'll pay for the liability insurance for an event, if you let it happen. You know, and then not, if the plan says we encourage that, that then gives the select board coverage to say, we'll pay for the liabilities. And that's not gonna be a monstrous expense.
So we should put
So are we
nice to
saying-
have and talk to select board and see
Yeah,
if they're on
nice
the
to
hook
have.
to pay the
Yeah.
insurance bill.
And change it to have it or develop a plan for
Yeah,
using or borrowing agricultural land
Yes.
for them.
I'm always amazed at the number of kids sled riding behind Cherry Hill.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
Alright, so this is a nice to have, yeah?
Yes.
Yes.
Alright, encourage year-round programming.
I feel like we already talked a lot about this before, that it's already kind of happening. So
Yeah.
I thought we were gonna change
Yeah.
that to continue and maintain
Yeah.
year-round
Yeah.
programming.
I don't know what happened.
Because Parks and Rec has it, the library has it, and no one could really come up with what other programming we were
Yeah.
hoping for.
Yeah, so is this a
we spent a lot of time on that one.
Adult activity
Activities.
center.
And they
has
have,
it too.
yeah, so I feel like each kind of
I think that's,
demographic is getting,
So must,
are we talking
yeah, I think it's a
about,
must to continue and
I
maintain.
think, yeah, community gathering spaces is what this is under, so are we talking about outside activities, is that why this is here? Like bonfire?
Yeah, I
like
see what you're
a,
saying.
You know, like a
that would be like events.
parade or event
Yeah, I
type
feel like
of
that's more of
things.
an event than a program. Like I think of the
Right.
programming
So this
as
is,
the
I
Parks
think
and Rec does.
programming, I think is the.
Oh, so switch it to somewhere else
So
maybe.
event,
Yeah,
you know, these are events, year-round events
Oh, okay.
instead of programming.
or we could say encourage year-round programming, continue and maintain year-round programming and switch it to a different category.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depending on what we're looking for.
I think that's why it's here. is
Yeah.
Because this is in using our community gathering
Yeah, I see
spaces.
what you're saying.
This means, programming to me is like, somebody comes to speak at the Historical Society, that's a
Yeah.
program, versus our community
A fair
space is
or
a fair or an
Yeah.
event type of thing. So I don't think that belongs here. Unless you change it to event.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
But do we
Agree.
want to event? We want to continue, so we can do both, so I can add it to another location and then also do events.
I think we should encourage events.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we need a lot more community spirit than we have.
okay, I'm gonna say and events and then move to a different category, perhaps, or split. But a must have,
I think so.
Yeah.
okay. All right, next category, we're getting through this. Optimize use of municipal buildings and
Okay.
properties.
I'm gonna identify the ones we should throw out.
Yes, yeah, because I think we need to
Yeah.
say, we need to have a plan
Plan
for
for-
buildings.
Yes.
Not like,
Yeah.
do
Yeah,
this,
just
this,
throw 'em
that,
out.
that,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. This
So
is
that
just-
ought to be the bullet. There should be a plan. for
They've been
town
debating
buildings.
this for years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. it's
Yeah,
just-
and there is one for that, this is.
Yeah, I
for
think
optimum
it's-
Land.
That's for, you
Yeah.
could say, it says inventory, create a long-term plan for all town-owned land.
Yeah.
And
And
build
buildings.
and call it a day.
Yeah, because
And then-
these are
and then,
all,
I would take, use town buildings for incubator space, no. Use town buildings for kid-friendly
No.
activities.
No.
We do that already.
Yeah.
You know, like, the kids
Oh,
from the
do
teen
we?
club go down and play in the gym at TC Passios, you know? So, we're doing that
But
already.
That's really it.
pickleball,
Yeah, seniors
Yeah.
play pickleball. All right, so,
these are all,
I just,
the
I think
the
we should
one
make
that I
one statement.
yeah.
The one that I think that we ought to, like, use town hall for indoor farmers crafts market, no.
No, no,
Um,
no.
Use the Ritter Memorial Building as the new town hall, that would be part of that general description, we just kind of skimmed the edit. Lease that portion of the Ritter Memorial Building to a brew pub.
No, in your dreams.
That's why some people call this the Santa Claus Christmas wish
Yeah.
list.
Yeah,
Right, that goes out. Lease that Brooks House to professional business, that'll be part of that general description of
Yeah.
plans.
yeah, I
Okay.
just,
And the select board has a
Yeah.
plan for that.
So we're just create like, we need a plan for these.
Yes,
yes.
Great,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
Easy. Improve school facilities, funding and opportunities. So a lot of these is
I have
again,
lots
like
to
we
say.
need a plan, we
I
need
think we
a
need the
plan
same
for the
plan for the school.
buildings. We
Yeah.
need a
To
plan
do
for
Yeah,
the funding.
exactly.
Yeah.
So which ones in here?
I love renovate Turkey Hill. Because, you know, the school committee hired an architect, the architect came out and said, you can spend $70 million and build a new one, or you can spend $16 to $20 million to renovate one.
Yeah.
But it needs to happen.
It
It's a
does.
must.
Oh,
It
yeah, it
absolutely-
does.
It's an
It
absolute
absolutely
must.
does.
Okay. So renovate Turkey Hill is a must.
It should
Develop
Develop a
a five-
5-year, so I
Yeah.
wanna say like 5, 10, 15-year school funding plan. Like why limit to ourselves to 5?
Because 10 and 15.
Because,
Factors change.
Yeah.
yeah, you do.
5 is good enough.
You could
Five,
say-
yeah,
Yeah.
5
You
is
could
tough.
say in
You
increments.
But
You
5 is
don't-
tough to begin with.
Yeah, you don't even know what you're gonna get from the government, you
Yeah.
don't know what's gonna happen with the school population, I think 5 is tough.
Yeah, develop a budget for more than 1 year at a time.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
3 to 5 would be sufficient, to be honest.
So I'm
Yeah.
gonna say
Yeah,
keep a
100%.
5-year increment, so not just say like rolling
Yeah.
plan.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Provide after-school care options for children of working parents.
It's already being done.
Okay, so maybe continue to
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, it says additional though.
provide. Yeah.
So there's only
additional.
one option for working parents provided by the town.
Yeah.
If we're talking about
Yeah.
providing additional, then that's
Mhm.
different because
It is.
there's just extended day at this point,
What
which
would
is morning
be-
and afternoon.
What would be like additional?
I'm
like,
not sure.
daytime? Oh.
I didn't make this one, I'm just saying it
Okay.
says additional, so we,
Okay.
what Deb said is it's already happening, which is true, but additional is not, there's only really one.
I think right now.
And then the Boys and Girls Club is for the older kids.
Yeah, and-
After school only.
Isn't
not
it after
before.
schools, the parents drop their kids off, pick them up at TC Passios, right?
No, it's extended day, it's for Boys and Girls Club.
No, for,
So extended day is before school and after school you
and
can
where
drop.
do the parents bring their
It's
kids?
TC Passive, so
It's
it's
TC
moving.
it's moving.
It's moving to
To
the,
the schools?
yeah,
Turkey.
I think it's.
So
very
I
good.
think
It's Turkey Hill,
that
I think.
was,
Does that make sense?
having listened to a parent on the Lunenburg Municipal Building Design Committee conversations, she was saying, why can't I bring my kid to the school? Why do I have to bring them to TC
Right,
Passios
so
and then you bus them
It's
from TC
moving,
Passios?
Yeah.
it's moving.
So I think that that was the additional part that she was looking for.
Yeah,
When this was filled out. that was,
Instead of dropping them off, having them bused, and then
so the
bus.
additional was, can I just drop them off at the school? And
Yeah.
And that's happening.
Yeah.
That is happening.
Okay, so then we'll say continue to provide additional.
No.
I would say-
Provide school.
So
Extended
what we ought to do is
I
say.
mean, I would take out the additional if we don't have an additional.
Yeah,
I
that's right,
feel like
continue
that's
to provide
misleading.
after
Yeah.
school and extended care option for children. I mean, why does it need to be of working parents?
Right.
Yeah,
For children.
right. So just provide after-school care options for children.
Yeah.
All right, develop school programs linking seniors and childcare. Nobody gave any feedback on this one, so.
Let's do
I'm gonna-
that.
Well, we have done that in the past. The senior center has hooked up with the schools. It's tough to coordinate it. We'll do it again when we can, but I don't think it's a must-have because you have to coordinate it with the schools and the seniors, and it doesn't always work.
Do we think it's a nice to have, or do we
It's
just wanna?
nice to have. It's a
Okay,
very
so I'll
nice
mark it
to
as a nice to have.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, develop a community garden and incorporate garden into school programs. I think that's this part of the integrated into school programs. Don't they have a greenhouse?
So they have.
They have the
and they have a
greenhouse.
garden,
So that's, yeah,
That's-
So I think we talked
I
about
would say-
using that in more ways.
I wouldn't say community garden.
Yeah. I think the incorporating the gardening into school programs might be reasonable,
Yeah, take the community out.
because we already decided that the community garden is more of a nice to have, right?
Yeah.
So,
Don't say develop, because they already have it.
right.
So incorporate gardening into school programs.
Yeah, but it's
Or
already
continue
there.
to-
Using the existing.
It's already there.
Using the existing.
So continue to incorporate gardening into school programs. Yeah,
Using the existing.
Yeah.
That's it, using
Oh,
the
okay.
existing gardening greenhouse. So it doesn't sound like we're talking about developing something.
yeah. Okay, then a must or nice?
Nice,
Nice.
nice.
Okay.
See, you don't know how long
Yeah.
the funding's gonna be
Yeah, that's
here to
right.
do that either.
All right, open up the school greenhouse to the larger community. I think it would be nice to have, but I don't know the logistics of that, the school property, if we have a community garden. I mean,
I would say
Any
nice.
strangers in the school.
It's a little tough.
We'll see what school committee has to say.
Can I just say something about the greenhouse? Well, then what's the point of having the greenhouse if we never like use it? If it's like, for the school, it's just a nice to have, and then the
It's-
community doesn't
It-
use it. Like,
They have
what's-
courses in it.
Okay.
Yeah, they use it at the school.
Like for class, like
Yeah.
electives or something?
Yep.
That's
they-
really-
they
Is
teach
it an elective? Because I didn't think that it was. Well, I don't know.
I have no idea.
Okay.
I haven't been
They
to school
definitely
for a
use it,
long
I know that, they've used it for science classes and things like that, because Nate has told me about it, but I don't know if there's a specific course designed around the greenhouse.
time.
They
Yeah,
used
I
to,
think that's more what I'm wondering about. Is there like, does any of the schools use it on a regular
Yeah.
basis?
there was
because-
a horticulture class. I don't know if it's been cut with some of these classes that were cut. Horticulture was taught as a science class. I don't know if that's been cut. I can't speak to what's been cut with all the,
So maybe
Budget
that's
cuts.
something we
We
can
can
look
look,
into
yeah.
to figure out if it's even
Yeah.
being.
But it
It's
was-
just,
it was.
yeah, it's just a shame to like have spent so much money on having this beautiful greenhouse built into one of our schools, and it's just
Yeah.
sitting
Yeah.
there.
We can
Um,
find out more about it to see if that's a possibility.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess when the building committee was doing the high school and the middle school projects, they probably had a lot of conversation about building a greenhouse. And, so now we have a physical structure, but what's the plan for using it? I mean, there was obviously a plan for
Right,
using it
when they
when
made
that
it.
building committee said, hey, let's build a new high school and middle
Yeah.
school, and we're gonna build this $100,000 greenhouse. And, so it's there, so we ought to try and figure out a plan to use it.
Yeah,
Okay,
so I
so
think we would
it's-
have to look into, like Jen was saying, Kim, sorry, was saying, that we don't know the rule, like,
Yeah.
what the rules
What
and
was
kind of regulations to opening up to a bigger community would be, so if we looked into something like that.
Or we go back to what Deb's saying is that it was a horticultural
Right.
class. There ought to be a plan that says that was an important thing. We spent $100,000 to have a place for a horticultural class.
I don't know that it doesn't exist anymore.
But
I know that it was very
Very
popular
popular.
and it was part of the curriculum.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's gone now.
I'm happy
I'm
to
really
look into
surprised
that as a
either, I
member
don't
of the
know.
school committee.
Okay.
I'm happy to
Yeah, let us know
figure
what
it
you find
out.
out at the next meeting or.
Do some
or
research.
what- Yeah.
And
So I'm
they
gonna
made a
put
lot of
here-
money on plant sales for the school too as well.
I feel like, yeah, I remember hearing that.
Remember
So I'm
that?
gonna put here, assess allowing public use of the school greenhouse to larger community.
I think we need to find out what
Yeah,
the whole logistics of that.
Yeah.
I would kind of take that off at this point, because we don't even know.
I'll
What's
at least
going
because
on?
it's still gonna go to the committee and they can talk, it'll prompt them to like talk about it.
Yeah.
But I'll add a comment here of like, might not be feasible based
Yeah.
on school logistics. Sorry. All right, use empty town buildings for after-school activities.
Part of the building plan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
strike it, because we can,
Yeah.
Okay. Fund school art programs in STEM. I know it said STEAM, I don't know where that came from, but STEM.
It's STEAM.
Oh, it is STEAM.
It incorporates
Did they
art.
change it?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
STEM is just the science and technology part, and then you add A and it adds art to
Well,
it.
then it's really just fund school.
I think that goes with the budget
Programs.
plan almost, because we can't,
Yeah,
Yeah.
town can't.
As a
the town
budget.
can't fund that, so
That's, that
just,
comes under the school
School
committee
budget,
budget,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. But as, so we can say fund school STEAM programs as part of school budget. So like we're saying,
Yeah.
yes, you need to make a school budget, and we're like, we ought you to include this in that.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably a must-have.
Yeah.
It was, a lot of that stuff was cut this year, so I think
Yeah.
it's important to
So we're
Agreed.
say we need it,
Okay.
even though we can't personally fund it ourselves. But
Yeah. All right, provide trades training program in conjunction with Monty Tech. That's
So
a
they-
big topic.
So Lunenburg can send, so once you are in eighth grade, you can go and do part of a VIP program where you get to go for 4 weeks and try it out as, to kind of see if you want to go there. But that wouldn't necessarily be a training program. I guess it's,
Yeah,
like,
the
would
other
it be
thing is-
asking,
The other thing that's kind of interesting about Monty Tech is that Monty Tech is not training vocational students. And, you know, my son who's on the school committee says, we need to have a training program for like the trades.
Mhm.
And I think that that's one we ought to
look into?
look into.
Oh, like in the schools here, we could have Monty Tech like do a training program for people that aren't necessarily going to Monty Tech?
No.
Okay, sorry, I misunderstood
I
you
would-
entirely.
We need something for kids that are not on a college track.
Right.
Kids that want to
Right.
go to a
Be
trade versus
be like an
going to
electrician or a
college.
plumber.
Like what Monty Tech does.
Yes.
So I think what Tony's saying is having something more
Yes.
centered in our schools
Yes.
rather than
Yes.
sending students from here to go to Monty Tech.
Oh,
If
Pays-
you-
And it pays
So
for
an
itself.
in-district,
so it would be like create a Lunenburg trades, schools trades program.
in the budget kind of thing, like we carve out for it.
If
You
you
have-
were,
Well, we
you would
used
have
to
to.
add it and they kept getting cut. We had industrial arts, we had homemaking, we had photography, we had all kinds of non-college crap.
Gotcha. No.
And they kept getting
First
cut,
to go.
cut.
if you
So-
look at the, if you look at the portion that we pay to Monty Tech to
It's
send kids,
outrageous.
it
It's
is
outrageous.
monstrous.
Yeah.
and they don't even take that many kids from Lunenburg
Right.
compared to other
Well,
surrounding
so-
towns.
Which is good for us because
Well, right, but it's not unfair, but it's
I,
for the amount of kids that may wanna go there, they don't have any other option, really.
Alright, so,
All
and
right, so is this?
Yeah, I think that's huge.
I believe that you could, I mean, the company that I work with is all union-based. I believe that you could work with a union and they would be more than happy to start helping you educate kids several days a week
yeah.
to increase the roles because we cannot get people right now to do anything.
So, I
Sounds like
mean,
a must-have then.
Yeah, I think it's a really good
I
thing.
think it's a target that
Mhm.
we should work towards, getting
Yeah.
those non-college traps back in for,
Maybe you could use some of our empty buildings
Provide after-school educational options for students of all ages and abilities.
Is that kind of covered in the other
Isn't
one,
that-
additional program?
Well, the other one was care, so more like
After-school care.
after-school care, so like extended day is more like for parents that maybe can't pick their kids up right after school because they're working or whatever.
Like continuing education for students.
Yeah, so
All ages.
they used to have after-school programs for kids in the primary and Turkey Hill level. So it'd be like an art or yoga or photo or music and movement, and they would rotate them throughout the winter. I haven't seen that in the past couple of years, so that's kind of dwindled. So I think that's more what that's maybe
Okay.
pointing to, probably due to staffing and
Yeah.
budgetary issues.
So would this be a nice to have? Because we first proposed need like schools and.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
Yeah, I
is like
think that's a nice
Yeah.
to have
Nice
at
to
this
have.
point.
Okay.
Because it's definitely disappeared.
Well, can I just chime in here too, that it's also saying for all abilities as
Yes.
well. So, I mean, just speaking as somebody who has a special needs student in their home, I think that would be nice to have. I mean, not nice to have, but like a must, because there's not a lot of options already for us special needs families when it comes to extra educational opportunities after school, and, you know, we wanna feel included like everybody else.
Can we send that to the school committee to see if there's any kind of federal grant or state grant for
Yeah,
special needs?
absolutely.
I'm sure there has to be something around. There has to be something.
Okay, so maybe this is like a nice to have to provide it, if it's, you know, feasibly possible, but we must look into,
Yeah,
Finding,
you know.
if it's feasible, yeah.
a lot of the funding has been
Yeah,
ceased at this point,
Mhm.
yes it has.
but it's worth looking into for sure. Okay.
I mean, at the state level, like
Yeah,
national.
no, it does,
level.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So this is a must to look into it, and a nice, we would like to definitely have this if it's possible. Okay, develop a universally accessible playground for all ages.
Yes, please.
Yeah,
Resubmit the Marshall Park plan.
yeah.
A small, there was a scaled back version of that.
Yeah.
There's two different versions, yeah.
Right.
Okay, so, yeah, I don't see why we wouldn't, I'm surprised we don't have one.
Right.
Since we have
Every town-
playgrounds,
Every
but
town
yeah.
around us has one now.
Yeah, okay, so that's,
Yes.
yep, all right, secret,
Our park district had a fantastic universal accessible playground, and we paid very little money for it. We had gobs and gobs of donations to pay for that playground.
Oh, we're not doing
Yeah, and then, once it was built, what was really nice, the way the thing is constructed, you have all kinds of ramps and, you know, to make it work, and it becomes a huge, but the kids who were not in need of a handicap playground, they loved it, and, you know, the end result was, you had kids who were
Yeah, it
handicapped
does.
playing
Mm.
very, very robustly with kids.
Yeah.
It doesn't take away from anybody,
No.
it only
No.
provides
Oh my
more
God, it was-
opportunity for everybody.
so are there grants for those types of things?
Yes, so the
Oh,
Marshall
they-
Park
Marshall Park.
Has.
had many grants, but the timing of it caused those grants to lapse.
Yeah.
So they are
Looking into it.
Filing.
If you
for
if
the-
you have
Okay.
a plan, you can
Yeah.
easily build a universally acceptable playground.
Okay, so we'll have
So
that,
that's
I'll add that
already-
in there, I'll say secret opportunities and develop the
Yeah.
playground and have that in next, okay. Seek grant opportunities for school building upgrades according to green building standards. We do this very actively all the time, but I'll continue, put it as a must-have to
Yeah.
continue to seek grant opportunity. Upgrade school facilities to meet accessibility standards.
Probably Turkey
Isn't
Hill's the
that-
only one that doesn't.
Yeah.
Mm,
Does primary school have an elevator?
yes,
Yeah, so Turkey Hill's probably the only school that doesn't.
Okay,
Is-
that's not the only accessibility standard though, having an elevator. There's a
It's-
lot more to it than that.
There's,
That's the minimum
Yeah,
ADA accessibility
right.
standard.
But I classify school facilities as part of our building plan
Yeah.
activity.
Yep,
Okay,
okay.
Turkey Hill is way out of.
Yeah, it is.
So so I'm not gonna include Turkey Hill specifically, I'm just gonna leave it as school facilities, okay. We are almost there, guys. We're so close. We're so close, okay. I think this is the last section. Foster safe and resilient town infrastructure. Prioritize sidewalks and pedestrian infrastructure in commercial areas. Yes, I think we've talked about that. Make the town center more walkable.
We've talked
We
about
covered
that.
that,
Yeah,
Yep.
that's already somewhere else.
It's in
Yeah,
there
I'll
big.
combine, I'll like
Okay.
make it, I'm gonna, take this and make it down to what it needs to be. Add bike infrastructure from high density housing areas to the town center and vice versa.
I think
So this is
it's-
connecting like apartments and the things to the town center.
I think it's a nice to have, because I remember going over this a long time ago, they said if we mess with the roads, we gotta like buy the land next to it to have 6
Yeah.
feet each, and I just don't think that's financial,
that's-
right? Is there some rule like that?
If we want to do it like state roads through the DOT, we need that kind of space. Otherwise, we have to do it independently as a town, and then we have more flexibility
Yeah.
as to how we do it.
Okay,
Okay, so is this a nice to have? Well, bike infrastructure, meaning bike lanes. You can still ride your bike with bike lanes, but so it's nice to have the bike lanes.
I think it'd be nice to have.
Nice
yeah.
to have.
Nice
I
to have,
agree.
yeah.
But I think some places it's gonna be, you gotta figure it out.
Yeah,
Yeah, so, I'll write this nice to have.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, establish a town fund dedicated to stormwater infrastructure and maintenance. So this is making sure we have money to make sure our stormwater goes where it needs to be and that we keep it going where it needs to be to not contaminate our drinking water.
We're doing that currently in the Stormwater Task Force.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're hopefully going to have that operational or like voted on by the town next year.
So should we put that as a must-have, and we can check it off as a win when it happens?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, great.
First of all, you gotta do it. There's no option.
All right.
There you go.
There you go, there you go. We can call it a win.
Yeah.
Check that one off.
Check that one off.
All right, implement traffic calming measures to improve pedestrian safety. So this is like speed humps.
Speed bumps?
I hate
Oh, I
speed
hate those.
My muffler hates them.
But if
Ugh.
we're trying to, so like in front of like town hall, where we don't even have a
I
crosswalk,
think it's a
we could put a
nice,
speed bump.
I think it's a nice to have. We're not gonna need it for the town to survive.
Right, I think it's a nice have too. It also includes things other than speed bumps too, of like making the roads in a certain way that people have to be slower. Yeah, so nice to have, do we all?
I think it's a nice to have.
All right, we'll keep that from there. Prioritize bike lanes away from major roads to connect neighborhoods. I mean, we don't have bike lanes, but I think major roads are really where most bike lanes are going to be anyway. So I don't
What
think
makes
it
this
is.
different from the last?
I think this maybe means like major roads, to me, major roads sounds like state highways.
Yeah.
And like Lancaster
Sure.
Ave.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So to me, this one doesn't really make much sense.
No.
Because
I don't- I
riding
get
your
rid of
bike,
it.
Yeah.
you don't really need, if you're in a neighborhood, it's already probably pretty good.
Yeah, let's get rid of that.
Incentivize solar canopies on large parking lots. So this is like covered parking, so you're collecting solar.
Didn't
over
that be
your
solar
parking lot.
bylaws?
Yeah, we changed the solar bylaws the previous 2 town meetings back to make it much easier to put in solar canopies in like parking lots and the like.
Yeah,
Cool.
So
so
that's-
do we need to still do anything with
I
this?
don't think
Check,
so.
we're done. We accomplished something.
Yeah, okay, so
It's
we
already
can
done.
just strike this.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Work with MassDOT and the state to add sidewalks along state roads.
So this is the one that I had a problem with. Like, I like it, but I don't.
It's not feasible.
Yeah, I don't think that.
It's not. There's no way we're
Not
gonna.
gonna happen.
Yeah.
We can't meet their complete streets requirements.
Yeah.
Okay. Prioritize bike infrastructure to connect to surrounding areas. I think this is,
Yeah,
I think
get
this
out
is
of
kind of
here.
like what that walking path one we said. It's,
Yeah, let's get out of it.
create a roadmap to reduce the impacts of natural hazards and climate change in Lunenburg. I think this is a must-have because we'll be getting to have, we just see all the time flooding, this and that. We
more
should
100-year storms
proactive.
than we've ever had
Yeah.
before.
Every day we got 100-year storm. So I think this is a must-have. I don't know, I think this one's gonna be kind of a collaboration between a lot of different committees. But I think being proactive in how the environment changes are.
What did we decide on the established town fund dedicated to the stormwater?
It's already done.
Must have,
So
because
it's
it's already.
It's must have.
We're
Okay.
currently working
got it.
on it.
Yeah. Okay. Adopt specialized energy code to ensure energy efficient represent. We already have
That's right.
the stretch code.
Yep.
There's even more stretch codes that we can do if we want to go into this whole other category, but we've already done this, so we can strike it. Okay, so these are the ones that we're all adding. Well, great job, we got through it.
Did you have the last one that you had added?
Yes, so these are
Okay.
these are the like additional ones that people have added in. Continue to be green community. Green community is like specifically the designation in the state that we get grants, but we have to meet a bunch of requirements that we continue to do. We get a bunch of money for it, so I think this is a must-have. We have a committee for it that's doing that.
We covered these two with the previous ones for the plans.
Yep.
I think that's good.
Review all zoning bylaws and update as necessary.
Sure.
Yeah, that's probably ongoing anyway.
Yeah. Well, and there's gonna be a zoning, or a bylaw
Charter,
committee
Yeah.
thing.
once every 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe we could just say review all bylaws. No update is necessary.
That's already in existence. What the plan should say is, should we do that more frequently or less frequently? That would be,
What's the current frequency?
it's once every 5
5
years.
years.
Oh.
Which I personally think is reasonable.
I think 5 years is sufficient.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So continue, so review is necessary and
That's-
continue on a 5-year review basis. Great.
That happens anyway, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but we wanna keep doing that.
Okay.
Well, it's because it's a continuous thing. It's not something that like, oh, we did that and it's done.
after 5 years.
Yeah. All right, develop uniform town signage. I think that's great. I think it would contribute towards like the farmy feel that we all want to have.
What does that mean?
What is that?
You ever drive through like the town and all of the signs along the strip mall are green or something and they all like the same like kind of look to them? Like Sudbury, for example, if you drive through Sudbury, it all looks nice and the same because they require that that business has a sign that has this font in this color and this size.
Oh, I never noticed.
Yeah, like for example, the library director called me up one day and he says, I heard you had some experience with signs. He says, would you come down and look at my sign? And I said, he had a picture. And I said, that'll work. I says, but it'd be really nice if there was some sort of a uniform sign approach to Lunenburg buildings. And I says, that'd be something in the master plan. And I says, go tell your library rep to bring that to the master plan.
Yeah.
And it makes a dramatic change. Sudbury is a perfect example. It makes the town look like it's got its act together. And you're gonna have signs anyhow, you know, so let the signs be uniform. Don't put up a sign that looks like this for the library and then go put up a sign that looks like that for town hall. They oughta
Oh, you
compromise.
mean in the municipal buildings?
Oh, yes, so wayfind signage.
Okay, then, yeah.
So-
Well, it's both. I've
Yep.
seen both, yeah.
Yeah,
Just
and-
municipal, but then also just in town in general. Like some
Yeah.
towns have a bylaw that eliminates people being able to use like LED like that blitz signs, for
Yeah.
example. Like the only like lighting that you can use is like a small light that like faces back of your thing, because it like reduces light pollution and it just doesn't look.
You can have both. Yeah, I can guarantee you what she just described will be more difficult to do. But the way to start it is to have the town signs be uniform.
Okay.
Like there's a sign that says, when we create our new parking lot, there will be a, that's what this plan's all about. There will be a sign that looks like a Lunenburg sign that says Lunenburg public parking.
Yeah.
And then, once you have that in place, then you can entice people to say, don't put up tacky signs. You know, the village district, by the way, actually has a lot of language associated with signage, which became a huge issue for the insurance agency over here.
Okay, so you want to say
One in the
municipal?
corner had an issue with its signage, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But like, for example, if you look at the Ritter Building, you know, our sign for the Ritter Building looks one way, and then the sign that's out front where it says, you know,
Yeah.
fall leaf days are coming, that has a different look to it. And then the sign that's in the middle of the place where the Christmas decorations go,
Yeah.
that's a different looking sign.
So-
And then Town Hall's different letters than the Lunenburg Public Library does.
So you're advocating for municipal signs to begin with, or are
Yeah.
you saying for every business?
Both.
Start with
Start with
municipal.
Well, I
Yes.
start with municipal.
It's a tough test.
Yeah,
It
I
is a
think-
tough test.
Well, we wouldn't make people change over, but it's like after, when you like redo it, or like, you
Yeah.
know, new
Start a new
things,
business.
yeah.
And
But is
Deb,
this
in
a must-have?
in actuality, if you look at the requirements for signage in the village district zoning, it's pretty detailed, what you can do and what you can't do, and we already sold that.
Yeah. As much as I want it to be
I
must
like
have,
personal
think it's a
freedom.
nice
I
have.
like creativity for people's
Well, if we're
businesses.
categorizing it as things that we need to survive, it would be
Yes.
nice to have.
It'd be-
I think
Yeah.
it's a nice to
It's a
have.
nice to
If
have.
you want to attract businesses and you want to take away their creativity, I think that's a problem.
It could be.
There
But-
are
I think we could start with municipal buildings.
Yeah.
I would disagree about it. We already have signs, you know, so it's like, and every sign needs to be maintained. Every sign, like,
Right, okay.
you know, so it's like, come up with a uniform sign program. And I don't think it's nice to have. It's, you already got the signs, so come up with a plan to make them look right. I mean, like, Muir did it with his building already. I mean, he had a stupid little sign at the street, and then he has the sign on the big letters on the building. And fortunately, what he changed the street sign to look like is much nicer than what he had. But that was by accident. That was by Muir and the library board deciding what to do. There ought to be a plan.
So we all agree what should be on here. But it sounds like more people think it's a nice to have because of the definition we gave it. Although I agree with you and I want it to be a must have, but I don't want to be contradictory.
You don't need it to survive.
Yes, we don't need it to survive, but we can still definitely.
Wait a minute, are you
I like
sure? Okay.
conformity too.
Wait a minute. Develop uniform town signage. Are we saying municipal or are we saying town?
I think we were
So
saying
here is
municipal
start
first
with
and then-
municipal, consider all at one point. And this wording is definitely gonna
Okay.
change, but
All
whatever.
right.
And then I also snuck in here and consider non-light pollution lighting.
Yeah, that feels like one that, you
Yeah.
know, is a bit easier to push through for everybody, like, you know, the light pollution idea.
Yeah.
As opposed to like, it has
Has
to
to
look
be this
exactly
8x5, whatever
Yeah.
junk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's,
I-
we'll put it on here.
Yeah.
It's-
Yeah.
It looks pretty. Next time you drive through a town, you'll look and you're like, oh, that does look good. Yes, but yes, it does hinder creativity. You can see both sides. All right, Purchase Town Center. This was, again, it's like we're not gonna, it's imperative to do it for a lot of businesses. So I don't know, where do we wanna land on this one? Do we wanna put it as a must-have or a nice-to-have to purchase the town center?
I think it has to be investigated.
Yeah, I was gonna
Okay.
say,
Yeah.
I think
So
so. I think it's
assess-
If it's feasible, if
It-
it's something.
It probably isn't.
It ties
possible,
so
but-
many other things that we want to
It
do
does.
together.
It does.
Yeah.
We just don't know if it's something that
Sure.
is
Yeah.
doable
Yeah.
or how to do it.
I think that-
But I agree.
And he
There's
also
so many
might
things
want
that we talked
X
about.
amount of millions and.
Go back to that.
No.
So assess
Yeah.
purchase of town center is a must-have.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Okay. All right, so we're at almost 9 o'clock. What I'm gonna do, because what I was thinking of doing is was going through like the which committees this is relevant to. I will work with Tony to just, or I can help fill it out, because
Yeah, I think it's
that's me.
gonna be no harm to follow what we
Yeah,
decide. It's gonna be
um,
common sense.
Yep, and then I will, after we do that, we'll reach out to, if people are on there, our committees for like, let's say it's for school stuff, we'll have you take it, you know, planning board will have you take it, you know, et cetera, et cetera. For the remaining ones, we'll figure out that administrative task, by the next meeting. So we'll do this, so before our next meeting, we'll have this organized and sent out to you all to send to your committees, and then we'll work to send it to the other committees. Our timeline will be a month and a half So so today's the second Wednesday. So maybe August 20th, we ask the committees to have it back by, for us to re-discuss again. Yeah, I'll send this all in an email too. But that's my plan for that. And then our next meeting, which is July 23rd. I don't know if we had a quorum yet.
I had family coming in from Seattle, so
Yeah, that's
I'm out
fair.
for that one.
Yeah, so
Sorry, what date is this?
the next,
July 23rd.
Oh,
According to
yeah.
the spreadsheet, we have 4.
yeah, so we need 5 for the quorum.
I just haven't filled out, I should be available for that.
Okay.
I will
Please meet
do
them.
that tonight.
Yeah,
Keep
well,
the pace.
yeah, so we'll meet and we'll at least, we'll have Matt there, Rami there. We can follow up on this stuff, see how it's going, and make sure that this is still progressing. But I think doing this, it was so tedious, but it's super important that we've made these detailed things and made them better. And we can continue to discuss it, so, at our next meeting. I think that's all we have left for the agenda.
Did you not get my evaluate town
Did you?
administrative functions?
No, I don't think I.
Add additional recommendations in my
No.
choice.
How did you ever?
Which one
Keep
was
up
it?
with
Sorry.
That's where it says add additional recommendations.
Yeah.
Shorthand notes. And
I
I'll
want us to
remember stuff.
evaluate
Do it
all
first
town
thing.
administrative
Yeah, it's
functions.
getting-
Yeah, that's what I do.
And just do everybody get home right away.
Would be access only to
Yeah.
online actions.
I'm gonna forget it.
And then consider AI impact of town administrative
Yeah,
functions.
I'm the
Consider
clerk for another
AI
group and
impact
it's.
to-
Yeah, I'm gonna go home,
Go
watch
home,
fresh,
do
knock it
it,
out, do
do
it.
it.
In other words,
Being the clerk just
you
sounds
can
like
only
a
do business
nightmare
with
to
town
me,
online.
trying to like
If you
pay
don't,
attention.
if you don't
to
do
it
it
right
right
away.
away,
Yeah.
it's
Evaluate
gone.
town
Yeah.
administrative
It's gone.
functions.
And like, I'll look
To
over
be
it
accessed
tomorrow, maybe just
only
like, oh,
through
we'll change this,
online
but
actions.
95% of it.
And
then-
Alright,
And
I'll just
then
find
consider
something.
AI impact of town
But this
administrative
one's
functions.
Is that a separate one, the same?
Well, I didn't,
Kinda-
I
it's
didn't
kinda
do
like
encourage, I
Okay.
didn't track all this. When she sends that, I'll look at the
What does that
history of
mean?
that, see what she changed.
Means
from
that-
there.
No one can come to town to do
There's no
business.
way. There's no way.
If you want to do business, you
Alright,
gotta do it
I see.
online.
You're that good.
No, I'm looking at the history.
Or
of what
we're
she
moving
changed,
to
and I'll
that,
go from there.
opengov.com. I mean, like, it used to be you'd have to come to
Yeah.
So I'll keep that
town,
open.
a town building to get a building
Yeah.
permit. Not anymore.
Oh, okay, so we don't have to do that anymore?
No.
So why do we have to put this on here?
Well, because there's other functions. Like, for example,
Oh.
paying taxes. We have a handful of people that want to pay taxes by bringing the check to town hall.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like,
Hmm.
no, don't do that anymore.
What?
Oh, so we want to create everything to be electronic and you can't come to town hall anymore? Why
Right.
would we want to limit that?
Well, for two reasons. One, it's the way people want to do business.
But they can if they want to, right?
Yeah, most people would prefer to do it that way. And then, so if you create a
What I'm
system.
saying is, I don't think he's saying like you can't at all.
Yeah, what I want to do is I want to optimize it so that all town, like opengov.com is a perfect example. Not everybody in town is doing opengov.com, but eventually we should have every business function in this town through
To
opengov.com.
be able to be?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Except to be able to be assessed.
And like the only people that are coming to town to pay taxes, like for example, to pay taxes and online, it's a pain in the ass, to put it bluntly. Because Unipay is not user-friendly. And is anybody, am I saying
Yeah,
it?
no, that's right. It's
I just set up an auto
comparatively
withdrawal
Me
What?
though.
too.
It goes I just set up an auto withdrawal, I
Yeah,
haven't
me
to pay
too.
that.
Me too.
Well, some people might not want to do that. But the thing is that every online function that the town has to offer ought to be optimized. That's what I'm
As
after
soon
with
as I
this.
got my
agenda.
bill.
Okay.
Yeah.
So set it up to.
And OpenGov is a perfect example of how
Me
that's
Just
happening.
goes.
Okay,
Me too.
we can have that go
I'm
to
done.
a
I
committee.
log in like once a year to make sure I'm paid for it.
Sorry, I missed
If
that.
that.
I will say that like OpenGov, it has to be well set up. It just took me like
You
6
just
weeks
look
to
at tax bills, I
get
just-
a permitting
Okay,
process.
pay it out.
Right, so make sure that it looks good, that they're not charging me 6,000 instead of 4,000. So we should know
Alright,
that.
well, we've gone through our agenda. And I would-
Yeah.
That's why-
Does anyone have anything else they would like to discuss before someone, I entertain a motion
Yeah,
to
see,
adjourn?
we get the text message.
Motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Sandra online, so we'll do roll call. Tony,
Aye.
Aye. Mike.
Mike,
Aye.
Deb,
Aye.
Charles,
Aye.
Tim.
Aye.
Amanda.
Emily.
Emily, and Summer.
Aye.
All right, and I for myself, so 9:02, meeting adjourned.